hello, and welcome everybody to the new health conversations, especially the sensors. I want to clear up something with the sensors. The new health conversation is only devoted to one thing, and that's to bring medical proof that's in the public domain that everybody can read. Everything that we talk about comes from peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. We don't make any claims whatsoever. We've also written 4 best-selling books of some of the top medical doctors in the world, and we go out of our way to make sure that we stay within your community guidelines. We're not telling anybody that's anything that's sensational. We're not telling them anything that's not backed by medical proof. So I want to get that out of the way just so you understand. We've had a couple of instances where I think there was a misunderstanding that nothing we're sharing is an opinion. Everything that we're sharing is based on medical facts. So wow, a lot of people already, Diamond Girl and Marcus and Rainbow and Known and Ebony. So before we get into this amazing story of this mom and daughter who actually, to be quite honest with you, I coach them. They're my friends now. That the mom and daughter, the daughter's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, who's 80 years old, lost 91 pounds in 9 months. They've both been able to keep it off for 2 years. Now, let's get into something right away. I had a lot of pushback today. I wrote a couple of big excerpts on my TikTok account about diets and counting calories and all this. Okay, so let's be honest. Right now, we have 80% of America overweight, we have 50% obese, and we have 50% pre-diabetic. And I'd love for any of you to put in the chat, name a diet that's not some form of counting calories. So question number 1, I always ask all my audiences this, can anybody give me the definition of a calorie? Why are you counting calories when the majority, including myself 23 years ago when I started, I didn't know what a calorie was. And yet you're counting calories. I'm going to show you irrefutable evidence that calorie counting is dead, it's finished, it never worked. It was some myth made up by man, but it's not anything that the body can use. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. So I would question all of you, Known Elegance and Ebony and Monica and No Name and Chimney and User 283 and Erica and Bijin and Andre and Smith, Susie, Teresa. What you're looking at there, that amazing, amazing transformation, had nothing to do with counting calories. Nothing to do with counting calories. But look at the results. I mean, the daughter, 57 years old, loses 50 pounds in 90 days, and the mom loses 91 pounds in 9 months, and they've kept it off for 2 years. See, the problem with calorie counting now, it's become this cult almost. I mean, people are so enamored with calorie counting. I think that's the way you lose weight. You reduce the amount of energy you put out more energy than you consume. Well, that's a recipe for disaster. I'm going to show you in a few moments the medical proof now. All the research is saying calorie counting is dead, it's finished. This is going to make every single diet obsolete. So I hope you'll pay attention. I'm going to get into the details. Everybody wants like a 30-second answer. Okay, what do you do? What do you take? It doesn't work like that. The researchers who created this, it took them 40 years, over 100 studies, thousands of people. The first thing they proved to themselves was that no diet out there ever worked. I mean, people lost weight on all these diets initially. Notice the terminology, initially. But in the long run, 2/3 of people gained back more weight than they lost. But there are simple reasons for this, called the human metabolism and things like that. I mean, it's so it's just unbelievable. Johns Hopkins Medical School, I have it right here. Study predicts obesity apocalypse. By 2030, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. I mean, honestly, again, I'd love for anybody to put in the comments, what is the definition of a calorie? Now, who the heck is this guy? Well, first of all, I'm a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I wrote 4 best-selling books of some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I appeared 20 times on PBS. I was interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America. I've lectured at places or been invited to speak at places like Autism One, the biggest autism conference in the world, the Harvard Club in New York. I've done over 1,500 live lectures in universities and hospitals and towns. They even flew me to China. And I'll tell you right now, I'm being totally transparent, for 22 of my 23 years in the medical world, all of that, as far as the medical world was concerned, meant 0. Why would that be? Because there were no, I'm holding in my hand 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that are the irrefutable, it's called irrefutable medical proof, that what I'm about to share with you, what they did, is the answer. It's not like maybe it'll work, okay? It's the answer. Now, I get so much pushback from all these people who want to give me opinions that I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, first of all, let's be clear. None of it's my research. I'm the researcher of the researchers. But would any of you, let's get into it. I'm going to show you another picture now. These next few pictures I'm showing you are from the participants who are in these medical studies. The mom and the daughter, they weren't in the studies, but they did exactly what they did in the studies. And again, let me review for you. The daughter is 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 90 days. The mom, 80 years old, 91 pounds in 9 months, and they've kept it off now for more than 2 years. This is the #1 women's magazine in the world, Women's World. You'll notice the headline. They wrote the headline, Over 50 Protein Miracle. You probably can't, well, I think you can read it. Powerful new eating pattern can take weight off faster than anything else you've tried. This is the #1 women's magazine in the world. You think you get on the cover of this and what you're doing is a scam? See, it's so silly. I mean, they make all these comments. They come on and call me, I'm a grifter and I don't know what I'm talking about and it's BS. Well, not really, because when you are looking at this, and then they wrote a 2-page article inside the magazine about this, because it's look at this, everybody, 2 full pages. Look at what they're calling it, New Protein Miracle Diet. The researchers didn't write this; the magazine wrote it. And on top of that, here's why they got in the magazine in the first place. Because the researchers have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies proving you'll never count a calorie again. Men and women lost as much weight in this on a month as in a year of diets, lost no water weight, and no one was allowed to exercise, and they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. I know you all want a quick answer. You want me to tell you like in 30 seconds. I'm not going to do that because it took 40 years to develop this. Do you want to continue counting calories, which have been proven to be just an abject failure, or do you want to learn how you could completely change the rest of your life now? So let's get into it. Let's take first look at a few of the people. This is Kristen. She needed to lose about 35 pounds. You can read it. It's not fake. She lost 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches in 30 days. So I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, just 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself on any diet, weight loss trainer, gym, wherever you want to go? Jackie Edison, C. Peer, and Tim Collingwood, and then Jamil and Mentor and Kareen and Sabrina and the Neil and Sweetie. What's Trending with Shay, Sonia Estepin, I believe it is, and Uma Kalsum. So I know you're all impatient. I know everything. No, nothing should be more important to you than your health. We teach you how to maximize your health and your wealth. And what is your wealth? Your wealth is your health. This is not about a diet. This is about a lifestyle. This picture is 8 years old. She lost the weight 8 years ago and she's kept it off. What I want you to pay attention to initially, look at her hips on day 1 and then look at her hips on day 30. That's with no exercise allowed. They actually wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising, okay? So that's the first. These are people in these peer-reviewed human trial studies. Now let's look at the next person. This is Julie. She lost 35 pounds in 37 days. Now I know a lot of people think it's a different woman, or that was months later. No, it was 37 days. Look at the transformation. I'd love for any of you to comment. Hi, Diamond Girl. What do you think about this, everybody? Wow, lots more people. Serge joined, Jess John, Borhot, Treasure Shop, Missy joined. Wow, lots of you. Can we also get some taps on the screen if you like this information, this knowledge that we're giving to you? See, we're not selling you. We don't have anything to sell because this protocol is based on food and new ways of consuming food that will blow your mind. That's what makes it so unique and so doable for everybody. It's not some weird diet. It's not some weird, let's count macros. Let's eat, in a 8-hour window and not eat all this crazy stuff, but none of it works. Do you understand right now that they're projecting in 4.5 years, 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese? Does that sound to you like whatever you're doing, thinking about doing, or you did? We're the beacons. We're here. We're taking the pushback, the people calling us names and whatever. But see, the science doesn't care. These 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies, it's irrefutable medical evidence that you could change your life. How would you like to lose as much weight in 4 days as in a month of any diet? How'd you like to lose as much weight in a week as in 2 months of dieting? How'd you like to lose as much weight in a month as a year on diets, lose no water weight, and gain 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise? And not that the research is against exercise. The reason they didn't want people to exercise, they didn't want exercise to be a factor, okay? Now, this picture for sure, you're going to think it's a different woman, okay? This is the daughter of a friend of mine. Now, maybe you think we're dishonest. Maybe you think we faked it. Maybe you think we don't know what we're talking about. But you can't. These results, look at that. 60 pounds in 3 months. 60! Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. Have any of you ever seen anything like this before? In 3 months. Where's all the loose skin? She doesn't have any loose skin. You can see it right there. It's not fake. It's not Photoshop. It's not AI. I understand you're all grappling with the fact you think that paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, fasting, count your macros, carb recycling, alternate day fasting, none of them are working. None. Zero long-term. None of it's my opinion. I'm going to show you the medical proof here in just a moment from people like Harvard Medical School, from Medicare. They're all saying that the whole notion of counting calories, that is over. We need a new approach. Well, that's what these researchers created. But all of you, please give me your comments on that. Hi, Marco Polo. Hello, Laura. Hello, Lamar, Gretchen, Angel, Jamin, your posts, Laura. Oh, I got one like now. Come on, can we get some more? Can we get some more hits? One last before and after. This is a man, an elderly man. Look at this, everyone. 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches. Now that's from his neck to his ankles. The 52 inches, okay? Most men lose 4 inches off their waist in the first week. I know it sounds crazy. 2 to 4 inches, okay? Let's make it even better or worse or whatever you want to say. But the key here, look at his lab work. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, his triglycerides from 242 to 124. Do you know the researchers who did this, or they're voted, well, they're not voted, they're recognized in a rating system as the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. They're the ones that invented this. Not these people giving me comments on social media that I don't know what I'm talking about and it's impossible. It's all about thermodynamics. It's about calories in, calories out. It's about eating more protein. No, it's not. These researchers did all that stuff for 40 years. So do you want to believe opinions or do you want to believe medical facts? Because the medical facts are clear. These 10 peer-reviewed studies basically wipe out every single diet out there. One of the studies that was just published, I have it right here, in Nature Communications, which is the #1 medical journal in the world, that study of this had nothing to do even with the weight loss. It was about the gut health, our gut health. In case you didn't know it, that your immune system, most of it resides in your gut, and also it controls all your emotions. So improving gut health, which they said, I'll read the title. Gut microbiome remodeling and metabolic profile improved drastically in response to protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting. We're going to talk about that. What does that mean? Well, what are those things? What did they do? Okay. I know you're saying get to the point, but I'm not going to rush this. You're talking about your health. You're talking about not next week or next month or next year. You're talking about the rest of your life, because this is definitely a journey. The problem with any diet or exercise program you're on, it's always about a destination. I got a wedding to go to. Summer's coming. Winter's coming. New Year's resolutions. None of them are working. You all will lose weight initially. I don't care what the diet is. But what should shock you is 25 to 40% of the pounds you're actually losing are lean muscle, which slows down your metabolism. That's why you plateau on these diets. That's why you come off the diets and you gain everything. Who's telling you that? Who's being truthful enough to tell you that? We get people coming to us, they're desperate. They said, we've tried everything. And I want to support your skepticism, by the way, absolutely. But the only rules I have on my podcast, and this is live, it's not pre-recorded, it's not an infomercial, this is a medical podcast to educate you and make you aware of what's possible. We have a free website you all can go to. You can see it right above the magazine article. Do you see it there? The New Health Conversation. What's there? Only the medical proof. If you go to that website, we won't contact you. You know, we get accused, you won't tell us, and we have to go to the website. Yeah, you have to go to the website to learn why you maybe want to know more. It's not a trick. Everything you want to know about it, all the medical proof, including the medical trials are there. But here's the big thing. There's an interview with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He's rated #1. He does a podcast explaining to you why they will never, in his words, ever recommend any form of diet ever again to their patients because it would be unethical. He said, why would we put people on diets when we know it takes them 8 weeks to lose the kind of weight our people on this new protocol lost in a week? But also the people on the diets, 25 to 40% of what they were losing was lean muscle, which slowed down the metabolism. 2/3 of them gained back more weight than they lost. But they also were compromising their own health. See, that's what you don't understand. When you're going these diets by counting calories and losing 25 to 40% of your lean muscle, you're making yourself unhealthy. I would like everybody to feel like you're all part of this. That's why it's called the new health conversation. Don't you think we need one? And I understand there's things going on. Maybe people got to go to church and you're all really, really busy. But do you want a real solution, or do you want some, half-hearted, here's what you do. Here are the food groups. Here's a recipe. That's what they're doing to you. You understand that there's no one else on social media that we can find that has one shred of medical evidence. Why are you following all these people giving you opinions with no facts? So let's now, okay, all right, everybody's impatient. Thanks for your patience. Let's talk about what did they do? How does this work? What's unique about it? Well, number one, the researchers determined after 40 years and 100 studied thousands of people that diets didn't work for one basic reason. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. I'm still waiting for someone to show me the definition of a calorie. No one's been able to do that. I've had 3 people in the last year, and I didn't know what it was 23 years ago. In other words, what's the medical definition of a calorie? What is it really? Okay. I'll tell you what it isn't. I mean, the human body can't count calories and doesn't even know what a calorie is. So there's a clue right there. But go look it up if you don't. I'd love for anybody to put it in there. Now, so the key to your life is this. You have a minimum amount of nutrition that you need in order to run all your organs. What's happened to our food in North America in particular, now around the world, the nutritional value, the amount of nutrition in your food has decreased. Well, as that decreases, what does it do? It ups your body's need for more nutrition. That's why you're hungry all the time. You're not hungry for calories. You're hungry for nutrition. And the problem is, if we took, Cornell University did a study on spinach, iron levels in spinach from 1953 to today, they estimate these iron levels in spinach have decreased by 4,300%. So a bowl of spinach in 1953, you need around 30 bowls of spinach, almost 70 years later. This is what's going on. This is the reality. So when you're eating and you're not full, it's not because you didn't get enough calories, it's because you didn't get enough nutrition. So the researchers said they were set up to do one thing. Find foods. Remember, the researchers have nothing to sell. They're scientists. There's no lotions, potions, pills, supplements. No. You're going to buy food. So she was given a grocery list that she took to her grocery store. What was on the list? Proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruit. You say, well, that's not too, yeah, it's very important. Because the researchers limited not by calories, but by serving size, and they picked the foods that had higher levels of nutrition or that were antibiotic free or whatever it was. For example, like with steak or a hamburger, they specified it's got to be grass-fed finished, not just grass-fed and finished. Okay, that's an example. So, but only 30% of the food she consumed in a month came from her grocery store. So if you took your whole food budget, only 30% of what you spent last month, you'd spend this month at the grocery store. Here's the key. The other 70% came from other researchers, who those researchers for 20 years had gone around the world to Russia, to Mongolia, to Tibet, South America, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. That is the essence of why this works from a food perspective. But that's only the ingredients. Now the key is, what did they do? Well, one of the things the researchers learned over the years was this whole fallacy about eat one meal a day, or say your last meal is at 8 o'clock at night and then you don't eat until noon the next day, or whatever, all these nonsense things. They found the most efficient, effective thing they'd ever discovered in 40 years was what they did here. It was brand new. They'd never done this before. So 5 days a week, she and everybody else in the studies and the mom and daughter who are on the cover of Women's World magazine, they had 4 meals a day. Yeah, they started with the exotic foods. That was breakfast. Lunch was from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal, these exotic foods around the world. Now, why was that so significant? Because what the researchers found is that by balancing or taking the nutrition or the fuel, that's a better way to think about it, and spreading it out over, let's say, 12 hours was the most effective and efficient way to use the nutrients in the food. Hopefully that makes sense to all of you, right? So 5 days a week, you'd be eating 4 times a day. And even moving forward, when you go to maintenance, you learn how to basically eat 4 times a day. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? But 2 days a week, she and everybody else did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting. Not water fasting, not this ridiculous time-restricted eating where you don't eat for 16 hours and you eat for 8. It's been totally debunked in study after study, by the way. It's just a calorie reduction diet. That's all it is, all right? So on those days, 2 days a week, intermittent nutritional fasting days, no food from the grocery store. But watch this. She then ate 8 times a day. She was fasting with nutrition. So she had very small amounts of food about every hour and a half, but huge amounts of nutrition, so her body never went into starvation mode. And they proved that at the end of 30 days when they looked at, she lost no water weight, and instead of losing any lean muscle, she gained, you ready for this, 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise at all. No one's allowed to exercise because the researchers didn't want exercise to be an outlier. That's why they made them wear Fitbits. I mean, hopefully this is making sense to you. It's a complete revolutionary new way for all of us moving forward. Now, the key to this thing is not that she lost the weight, the fact she's kept it off for 8 years. Maintenance is the key. That's why the research, you know what they call it? R2M, race to maintenance. How simple is maintenance? These exotic foods for breakfast every day, that's what I do. A lunch and a dinner, and then maybe once every couple months, do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Now, the reason to do that is something I haven't even explained to you yet. One of the biggest factors we now know that we didn't know that's causing this amazing obesity crisis is this medical syndrome. I have it, and you have it, everybody has it. It's called TDOS. The T is for toxicity, the D is for nutritional deficiency, O is for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. So for all my critics out there that want to come on and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, you don't get a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office if they're not going to approve it's some kind of scam, you know. But here's what we're doing as human beings. We don't have any choice. We're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals. And as those enter your body, the body's taking the chemical and stuffing it inside your fat cell. That's why people complain to us all the time. It's not just how much weight they've gained, but how much fat they have in their body. Also, something else, don't let anybody tell you you can burn fat. That is a complete bold fat lie. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and those fat cells either expand or they contract. And sadly now, all the evidence points that the higher percentage of the fat, the size of the fat, etc. Not that you're not adding fat cells, but the fat cells are expanding. It makes you more and more unhealthy. We'll look at her day 1 and day 30. What that showed is she's detoxing. Now, rather than you think it's a marketing ploy, these researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving that this protocol was assisting the body in removing chemicals. That's why she shrank. See, a pound of fat and a pound of muscle weigh the same. They have to, right? People come out and say, well, muscle weighs more than fat. No. No, fat takes up 10 times the space, the volume in your body. So imagine if you can, the source of the bloating and all the things like her stomach, you see it on day 1, was those chemicals. But if you can begin to assist the body in removing the chemicals, those fat cells shrink as they did. Look at day 1 and day 30. How many of you would like to lose 20 pounds in a month and 38 inches? Or count calories and lose maybe a pound a week? You all know that. Please, someone tell me. If you wanted to lose 20, let alone 21 pounds in 30 days, how long would you give yourself? Say you've never seen this, you don't know about it. You're on any diet, any trainer, anybody you want to follow. It's all nonsense. It's just total nonsense. This is the solution. Yeah, Polly Pocket. Actually, my son lives in Costa Rica. We love Costa Rica. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. I agree. Because their food, it's not how much they eat, it's what's in their food. That's what these researchers, for 20 years, they went to places in the world where people lived to be 100 years old. It wasn't about how much food they were eating, it was about how much nutrition they got. That's what you have available to you. Or go do paleo or keto or Mediterranean, lose a pound a week, whatever, and you're going to gain it all back. You can get mad at me. People do. They want to push back, and this guy's full of it. It's BS. No, it's not. Because you got to understand, when you have peer-reviewed human trial studies, it's irrefutable evidence. They've already been analyzed, the research by independent medical doctors and researchers who have one job. Maybe you don't know this. When you submit these big, people say, oh, well, big pharma funds it, whatever. No, you don't understand. When you submit to these journals, you give up all rights to the research. Because really the journal's job is to disprove what you're claiming. That's why no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. Not on mice, not on rats, not on chimpanzees. Like someone the other day was, promoting this thing about alternate day fasting, about how it lowered, type 2 diabetes and was a cancer risk thing. Well, when you look at the study, there were 3 people, and right in the study it said the results are totally inconclusive. But that's what they do. They spin these yarns. But when you have real science, this is what we've lacked. This is what we needed. I mean, how excited would you be? Basically, you can lose as much weight in 4 days as in a month of dieting. How much would that motivate you? When you stand on that scale on the 5th morning, most of the time, you know what people say? My scale broke. I'm serious. Hell, I lost a total of 40 pounds 23 years ago in 7 weeks. In the first 4 days, I lost 8 pounds. I lost 12 pounds in 9 days. I lost 20 pounds in 18 days. I lost 30 pounds in a month and 40 pounds in 7 weeks, and I've kept it off for 23 years. I know this sounds like science fiction to all of you. And I know based on the numbers, the very few number of people that will actually go to the website. So Ms. Wiz, it's this right, it's June 6th. It came out on Monday. No, not Monday, it came out. When was June 6th? What's today? The 8th. So it was Sunday, Saturday, Friday, June 6th. Everybody see that? This is the #1 women's magazine in the world, and this is the cover story about this, well, they call it over 50 protein miracle. This is a magazine. This isn't a commercial. This isn't an ad. This is a news story in women's world that goes to millions and millions of women. But it's also men that are, it's not just women that are overweight, it's everybody. Hell, we got 80%. I mean, today, 80% of America's overweight, 50% are obese. And they're saying in 4.5 years, 86% of America is going to be overweight or obese. When do we wake up and say, you know what? These diets that we're on don't work. I understand you're all skeptical. So few of you will take advantage of why didn't you tell us 23? Mr. Serious Business. Listen, 23 years ago, to be honest with you, Mr. Serious Business, hell, I didn't know what a calorie was. I really didn't. I became a researcher, and the thing that I would also caution you, you buy directly. You buy directly from the suppliers. It has nothing to do. You don't have to sign up for anything. There's no membership, etc. But what would it matter what it was? You have to understand that what they used in the studies was basically foods and food groups from your grocery store. Only 30% of what you'd consume. The other 70% from these exotic foods from around the world. Doesn't matter. Even if it wouldn't matter. The results are the results. So science doesn't give a damn where it came from. The science only produces the outcome, if that makes sense to you. And again, you think you'd get on the cover of Women's World if you had some scheme going on? They're not going to risk their reputation on that. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, because most of you will, almost all of you will end up, still counting calories and clinging to paleo or. Look, what the heck is wrong with us? You're settling for maybe a pound a week, maybe. And then when we get into the real science, listen to this. So you don't think I'm making it up. Listen to this. The latest research dismantles the calorie counting paradigm by demonstrating that weight maintenance depends on food quality, hormonal responses, gut microbiome. The body doesn't count calories. It processes food through integrated systems that prioritize nutrient density and energy homeostasis. That's what these researchers did. They concentrated on nutritional density. They picked the foods. They don't have any product. They don't sell anything. We don't sell anything. Wake up, America. Well, this is actually going all over the world, this podcast. What do you want us to do? What would you want us to do? We're providing right here. Look, everybody. It's a free medical website. You go there, we won't even contact you. There's no buy buttons. There's nothing to buy on that website. Only thing there is the medical proof, including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Do you want to listen to him or people on social media giving you opinions? Nice people. I'm not going to disparage him. My God, there's medical doctors and there's chiropractors and there's PhDs and people writing on whiteboards and there's trainers and there's dietitians and nutritionists and weight loss coaches. But have they ever showed you one scintilla of medical proof? Because all the medical proof now is here's another one. Calorie counting is a relic, a simplistic dogma that ignores the body's sophisticated survival because it battles our biology, hormonal signals that prioritize nutrient quality, metabolic adaptation to conserve energy, and psychological needs for intuitive eating. Every diet rooted in calorie restriction is doomed to collide with these realities. You're going on a diet to gain weight, 2/3 of you. You are. Now, you can get as mad as you want at me and think I'm full of it and it's BS and I'm a grifter. I've heard all those things before. But the science doesn't give a damn. This is not my research. We're sharing with you the real research. That's one thing, we tell the sponsors for community guidelines. We don't make things up. We don't give you claims. We're giving you medical proof. Now, you may not like it. It's like, is the prescription worse than this isn't a prescription, by the way. And the thing about it is, you can see right there, the new health conversation, it's free to go there. We will not harass you. We will not call you. We don't have time to do that. And right above it, you see what it says? Free coaching to ensure your success. You don't need a coach to see the medical proof. We don't do that to you. We've been accused of that. Oh, well, you got to sign up for a coach to find out. No, that's a total lie. You're seeing everything up front, and you get to choose, do you want to talk to a coach for free? And that coach is going to coach you the whole time. We got coached. The coaching's free the whole time. I see other people that want to sell you an app and then you get a coach and they're going to give you recipes. Recipes, they ain't going to do you any good. Because number one, in the recipe, the food you're eating for the most part is almost nutritionally bankrupt because it's coming, even if it's organic, from North America. These researchers, wow, what they did for 20 years, realizing there were areas in the world where people were eating food and living to be over 100 years old and not getting sick. Wow, what a concept. And these researchers who created this, they used only 30% of the food that they consumed from the grocery store. You'd get a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits, but not calorie counts, serving sizes, a whole new concept. And the other 70% are from these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, Bangladesh, South America, and New Zealand, etc., that represent huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. I know it's a hard concept to get across. Oh, you're going to be starving to death. No, that's because you're used to calorie counting. Here's a better example, and maybe it won't be a good example at all. Let's say today you went and filled up your car with gas, and pump number one says, there's only 2 pumps. Pump number one says, this gallon will take you 20 miles. That's the food you're eating today, even if you think I'm eating whole food and I'm doing organic. Because 200 studies prove that organic is slightly better nutritional than regular food, but the reason to eat organic is because it's less polluted. Well, pump number 2 over there says this gallon will take you 100 miles. That's what the researchers did. It was a theory when they started. They didn't know it was going to work, okay? Now, Wanda Mama, what is the perfect meal? What is the product name? There's no product. Oh, what's the product? Oh, it's a lotion potion pill. No, it's not. It's food, okay? It's broccoli, it's spinach, it's kale, it's proteins, it's fats, it's carbs. And then a completely new way of eating. So that's what I was trying to explain to you fast, Wanda Mama. What they did is they created massive amounts of nutrition in the least amount of food possible. Only 30% of the food they consumed, like in this magazine, the 2 women on the cover, who I coached, by the way, the daughter, 57, lost 50 pounds in 90 days. The mom lost 91 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 2 years. So essentially 30% of the food, they got a grocery list that they took to the grocery store. The other 70% came from these foods from around the world I just mentioned. And then there were 2 new ways of consuming food that you would be taught. 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day. You'd start with these exotic foods from around the world. Then you'd have lunch from the grocery store list. You'd have dinner from the grocery store list. And you'd have a 4th meal from these exotic foods. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day is what they did. 2 days a week, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time they ate 8 times a day. You heard me. They were eating about every hour and a half, but they had real tiny amounts from a quantity standpoint of view, but the nutritional density was off the charts. And look at the results. Well, I mean, again, look at her. How about 5 pounds a week, 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches in 30 days, and she's kept it off for 8 years. Or this other girl, woman here, Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. Where's the loose skin? Look at the transformation in her body. Does that make sense, Wanda? I'm going as fast as I can because I know you have to leave. This is not a diet. Now, also, Wanda, if you want, before you leave, you can go to this website right there. You can see it right above the article in blue, the New Health Conversation. That's the free medical website. We won't contact if you go there. But if you like what you see, you can scroll down and you get a free coach. And it is totally free. There's no gimmicks, no other shoe, no tricks, period. End of the story. It's free coaching. You've never done anything like this before. But do you like their results? A 57-year-old losing 50 pounds in 3 months, and an 80-year-old losing 91 pounds in 9 months, and they've kept it off for 2 years. I hope you all be very, very interested in this. But there's so much more to this. I'm going to say, is there just a list of food? No, Kat. It's way more than a list of food. Let me go over it again. Okay, again, slow down, everybody. The New Health Conversation. That's the medical proof. We won't contact you if you go to the website. Now, as far as the food list and what you do and all that, you scroll down and it says free coaching. You get the coach. The coach will answer any additional questions you might have. They'll show you, as a matter of fact, you also would get from the coaches, the medical researchers who did this, developed this for their patients in the studies. It's called the Blueprint for Success. You all would get it. It contains these daily videos explaining to you what you're doing, why you're doing it, and why it's safe. These researchers who created this, they don't have anything to sell. They don't have a product. They don't have a company. We don't sell anything to you. You're either buying 30% of your food from the grocery store, or you're buying the other 70% of your food directly from the suppliers who supply these exotic foods to the studies. So to get all, now again, it's not that simple. It's not like, even if we gave you the list, you need to understand these researchers figured it out. Timing was important. When did they eat? How much did they eat? What was the frequency? Okay, so for example, 5 days a week, they had 4 meals a day. They started with the world's most exotic food, and to be clear, I forgot to mention, about mid-morning, they had a snack. Then they had a snack from the grocery store list. Then lunch from the grocery store list, meal number 2. Meal number 3 was dinner from the grocery list. And a 4th meal after that 3rd meal from these exotic foods around the world. Now, the timing is really important. The researchers proved it. They were doing blood, stool, urine, glucose, liver enzymes, a wide variety of medical tests to determine, and avoiding, obviously, insulin spikes, which is what diabetics are concerned with. But on diets, it's something you don't want to happen, because when insulin spikes, it causes you to store fat, and you don't want to be storing fat. You want your fat. You can't burn fat, but you can shrink it. And that's what, I mean, if you look at her body here, look at the difference from day 1 to day 30. See, that area from her hips up is the dangerous zone for us, where the chemicals are concentrated inside the fat cells. As a matter of fact, the chemicals are called lipophilic, which means fat. They love fat. They reside in our fat cells. Whether you know it or not, you're drinking, breathing, eating chemicals on a daily basis. Herbicides, pesticides, Scotchgard, Teflon, etc. So all these all these weight trainers want to come after me. Well, what they don't understand is there's never been a study showing even a gram of a toxin leaving the body in fat. You can't exercise the toxins out of your body. It doesn't exist. You can sit in a sauna all day long. Now, an infrared sauna is a little bit, it does a little bit, a tiny bit. But this is proven through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. It's helping the body remove the chemicals. That's why she shrank. She was not allowed to exercise. No one was allowed to exercise because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Now, you certainly can exercise, and that's why you'd have a coach. That's why you go over. Listen, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. What, you think we're just going to give the mom the recipe and this and go for it with a 2-year-old? And then we have a lady 91. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no gallbladders and people with kidney transplants and all kinds of other things. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or making any medical claims whatsoever. All we're showing you is the medical proof. Now, I don't know why, I understand why you're skeptical. I get it. Well, I'm on your side. But don't let your skepticism prevent you from literally changing the rest of your life. I'll tell you right now, the jury's in on diets on counting calories. Here's a big new study from Medicare. You all heard of Medicare, right? Title of the study, Medicare Search for Effective Obesity Treatments. Diets are not the answer. They went on to say, our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether these diets were an effective treatment for obesity. Listen to what this is Medicare saying this is not me. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What are you all doing? Why? Because that's all that was available to us. How could you not want to know more about this? When you've got, I mean, I shouldn't say even, this is why this is so crazy. People, let's see, do I have it? Yeah. Harvard Medical School. Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. Okay? This is Peter Greenlaw's opinion. This is Harvard. They said, the idea of the idea of a calorie in and a calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what these researchers did. They don't have anything to do with Harvard. That's Harvard Medical School admitting that counting calories is dead. It's over. It's finished. They're saying it's wrong. What are you doing? You're going to get off this and you're going to go back to paleo. I know you are. Because we can tell by how many people come to the website. And my God, we offer you all the medical proof free. We give you free coaching and people still don't go. That's why we have 80% of America overweight and 50% obese and 50% pre-diabetic. Because people are hanging on to these. It doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. Counting calories doesn't work. Here's another big study. Why you shouldn't count calories. Again, not my opinion. Our researchers found, this is in the study, I'm quoting from the study, our researchers found that while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. Counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, two factors that are known to cause weight gain. You're on a diet right now to gain weight. I don't know if you know that or not. Did you know that? It's not my opinion. I mean, people want to get mad at me because I'm just telling them the truth. It's in the public domain. You can go look at yourself. Just this morning, I pulled up these 2 new studies that are just crazy in terms of supporting what I'm telling you. That they found that all these diets, none of them work long term. I mean, look at this, everyone. This is Julie. How about 35 pounds in 37 days? And look at the transformation in her body. Or this is the one, I know people think it's a different woman and we changed it. It's my friend's daughter. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Do you think that's fake? Do you think it's the same woman? Do you think we faked it? Do you think it's Photoshop? Do you think it's AI? But if you believe it's not, why wouldn't you be interested in going and see the medical proof? And then you can get a free coach, but you control it, not us. If you go to that website, we're not going to contact you. Why should we have to? You either believe in medical proof or you don't. But these people that come on and want to criticize and say, well, I don't believe in big pharma. This isn't big pharma. This is all natural. It wasn't done by big pharma. These studies, these are the top weight loss researchers in the world. They don't have any products. There's no product. It's food. But the recipe is everything. In other words, here's what you got to understand, what the researchers figured out. It wasn't just about what they were eating. It was how much they were eating, at what time intervals, that made all the difference. That's why 5 days a week you do something called protein pacing. I'll explain that in a moment. And 2 days a week you do something that'll spin all of you out called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not water fasting, not time restricted eating. And believe it or not, on an intermittent nutritional fasting day, these people, they were eating these exotic foods that come from around the world, but they had 8 feedings a day. They were eating every hour and a half. Why? They wanted to avoid the drop in fuel for the body, which would trigger the brain to turn your muscles into fuel, slow down your metabolism, and would defeat the whole purpose. That's why this is not some simple answer like, hey, we're going to send you the food list. That won't do you any good. It'd be like you want to make, I don't know, some exotic dish, like let's say chicken parmesan or whatever. So we send you the ingredients. Well, what temperature, for how long, and do you turn it over, et cetera. The recipe is really, really important. It took them 40 years of 100 studies, thousands of people to figure this out. You think I can explain it to you in 60 seconds? Not really. Why would you want me to do that? I know you're all really busy. Are you too busy to take care of your own health? Are you too busy to look at your future? If you've got children, or you're thinking about children, or you have grandkids, or you have nieces or nephews, you're all living, you're gonna get all mad at me. You have no idea how bad you feel right now because you don't understand how good you could feel. And don't tell me I'm eating whole foods and I'm doing organic. Because 200 studies on organic proved it was slightly better than regular food. Slightly, like 10, 15%. It was less polluted. That's why I eat organic food, but not because it's more nutritious. We've ruined the soil in North America. Don't you know that? I mean, in the 1930s, we about 30, 40 bushels of corn to the acre. You know what it is now? About 220. Better living through chemistry. I don't fault the farmers. They're doing their job. But what we're now recognizing years later is that as we increase the quantity of these foods we're doing through pesticides, pesticides, herbicides, nitrates, phosphates, we're growing these huge amounts of volume of food, but less and less and less nutrition. I mean, do you think something's wrong when in 1964, about 15% of America was overweight or obese, and right now we're at 80% overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic, and in 4.5 years, according to Johns Hopkins Medical School, and I have the study right here, they're estimating 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. And yet, what do you keep doing? Paleo, keto, Mediterranean, the celebrity diet, the shot, whatever it is. None of it's working. None of it's working. I mean, I'm going to show you the evidence now on the shots, and I'm not against the shots, so this will sound like no. But we're researchers. We want to show you the medical proof. How effective is the shot really? It's helping diabetics and it's helping people morbidly obese. But don't kid yourself. What does the shot do? It slows down the food moving through your digestive tract. You're consuming less food. But what else are you consuming less of? The only thing that matters to your body is not calories. Only thing that matters to your body is nutrition. So the GLP-1s are doing their job. They're reducing the quantity of food you're consuming, but they ignore that you're reducing nutrition. Well, let's look at the tail of the tape. New England Journal of Medicine. You can all look this up. Once weekly semaglutide in adults with overweight or obesity. This was a 68-week study. That's a year and 4 months. At the end of 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds, and 40% of the 32 pounds they lost was lean muscle mass. This isn't an opinion on my part. So all these people come and argue and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Does New England Journal of Medicine, do they know what they have no dog in this hunt. Everybody's scrambling. They're all looking for a solution, and the solution's right in front of them. It's all based on nutritional deficiency. At the end of the day, that's what this protocol is. That's what these researchers figured out. Let's go back to basics. Our grandparents, they had, breakfast at 6 a.m., they had lunch at noon and dinner. There were no vending machines. There was no snacking. Why are we doing that? Because we're starving to death nutritionally. Right now, the majority of you are maybe in the hour, he will finally tell you. Okay, is it the field grade system? But he won't reply to any of our questions. Is R2M protocol? Yes, it's the R2M protocol. I don't know who else wanted to ask me a question. See, all of you, I thought that I just explained it to you. Let me do it one last time. What the researchers figured out was that our food is all but nutritionally bankrupt. And by putting people on diets and reducing the amount of food you were reducing the amount of nutrition so much that it triggered the starvation mode in the brain on any diet. When that happens, the body stops accessing the fuel in your fat cells and turns to your muscles for energy and slows down your metabolism. That's why diets don't work. So what they did, here's exactly what they did. They figured out food groups, 30% of the food she consumed came from the grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes. Okay? So that's step one. Step one, 30% of the food from the grocery store. Step two were these exotic foods from around the world, from places like Russia and Mongolia and Tibet and South America and New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food, if that makes sense. Then they created two new ways of consuming these new foods. So let's review. 30% of what she consumed, or what you would consume if you did it, would come from the grocery store. You'd actually get a grocery list, and in addition, you'd actually get the exact, it's called the Blueprint for Success. It was invented by the researchers who did this for their patients. The yellows you see there are daily videos explaining to you why it works, why you need to do it, and why it's safe. That's the bottom line. So now you have your foods. You have 30% from the grocery store you've purchased, and you purchased 70% of your food from these vendors or suppliers that had gone around the world. Then they created two new ways of consuming food. 5 days a week, you do something of protein pacing. On those days, you consume food this way. Your meal number one is from these exotic foods around the world. That's your breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list. Dinner from the grocery store list, your third meal. And a fourth meal, these exotic foods from around the world. So 5 days a week, you're eating 4 times a day. That's called protein pacing. 2 days a week, you're doing something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, absolutely no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, you eat 8 times a day. 8 times a day. So she was eating about every hour and a half. I said back, maybe you missed it. One of the keys to this was, okay, the nutritional density. That was very important. But the timing, they found, the timing of when she ate, on what kind of a schedule, and what amount, in what sequence, that was the secret sauce. Because as you know, in cooking, you can have ingredients, but if you don't have a recipe, what are you going to make? Does that make sense to everybody? Does that? Okay. Well, good for you, Llama, because you're going to gain all your weight back. You're not going to lose an ounce in any of these diets. Go for it. Have a great day. Have a great day. I'm not going to waste any more of my time. Every single diet you're on is doomed to failure. I proved it. There's medical science behind it. And I just explained exactly what people do. No, it's not serious business. You're 1,000,000% wrong. It is not just a shake, and there's no supplements involved. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? That's the problem with people that just, So let's just, you're done. That's enough about you, Mr. Business. See, people come on and give opinions. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about, right? So it's all good. And let's go. There we go. Wonderful. So again, people come on and they want to give comments. But what they can't do is they can't refute the medical proof. Here we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. Does anyone on here not think that I just explained to you exactly what they did and why they did it? So rush off and go count calories. You're going to lose weight, and 2/3 you're going to weigh more than you did. And you're going to be miserable. You're going to be starving to death, and you're only going to perpetuate the downward slide of society. We're getting sicker and sicker and sicker at younger and younger ages. And again, can we get some more likes up there? Okay. 2 new messages. Scott, no, you don't, Scott. Okay, let me explain for everybody again, okay? First of all, this website right here is free to go to. There's nobody, if you go there, we're not going to contact you. The reason we want you to do that first, Scott, is to see the medical proof. Then you get to decide. You can get a coach for free that will answer all your questions. They'll show you the grocery list. They'll give you this Blueprint for Success, which is your guide to what you do, when you do it, how much you consume, etc. These are all daily videos from the researchers who have no products to sell. They don't have a company. We don't sell anything, okay? It's based 100% on this new concept of nutrient-dense foods in very specific times. Nothing to do with fasting, nothing to do with time-restricted eating, nothing to do with calorie counting, nothing to do with macros, nothing to do with, any carnivore, whatever it is, okay? We have people who do carnivore, but we enhance it because carnivore, you're still massively lacking the other nutrients that the body really needs. If you're interested in maximizing your health, if you're not interested in maximizing your health, then I guess you need to go somewhere else, right? So, great, Scott. And so, Scott, but I want to emphasize for you when you're there. No, Vicky, no, right here, Vicky, look. You see this? It's June 6th issue. Can everybody see this? This is the number one women's magazine in the world. This is a huge breakthrough. They're endorsing this over 50 protein miracle. This is a news story. It's not a commercial. Okay, and I'm going to show all of you. Look, this is the magazine writing this article. Can you read it? New protein miracle diet. That's not me telling you that. That's them. And this, like I said, this is it. This is the solution that everybody's been looking for, including these researchers for 40 years. And all my credit, I'm in a hurry. I can't waste my time anymore. Well, good. Go stay overweight and get yourself sicker and sicker. You're going to be part of 86% of people overweight and obese if you keep following these diets that don't work, all of you. Why would you do that? When you, for the first time ever, have medical proof of a breakthrough. You can lose as much weight in 4 days as in a month of dieting safely. Look at the mom and daughter. The daughter's 57, 50 pounds in 90 days. The mom, 80 years old, 90 pounds, 91 pounds in 9 months, and they've kept it off for 2 years. And again, when you're on the cover of Women's World, it can't be a scam. They're not that, they're the smart people. And basically they did it, the only reason was because this is the first protocol ever with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. Not paleo, not keto, not Mediterranean, not time restricted. None of them have, look at the influences. Show me one of them showing you one shred of medical evidence. They give you opinions. They'll talk about scientific papers. That doesn't matter in the medical world. Don't you think we're in crisis mode? When Johns Hopkins, where is it? I had it here a minute ago. I'll find it. Oh yeah, here it is. Johns Hopkins Medical School, this is in my opinion. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. We estimate 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese by 2030, in 4.5 years. I mean, what am I missing here? I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to educate you. This is live. This is a live medical podcast. This is live. This is not fake. And if I'm not responding to every question, it's because I'm concentrating so hard on making sure I get all this out to you, because I know everybody has about a 1-minute attention span. But when it comes to your health, don't you want to know real proof, medical proof? Not my opinion. I don't want you to believe me. Why? And people get furious at me because I won't tell them fast enough or I didn't do it. Well, okay. I can't save everybody, number one. But you can save yourself. But going on diets by counting calories is just, it's ludicrous. Here's another big study. The science behind why diets don't work. These are not my opinions, everybody. Our researchers reviewed more than 30 long-term studies of calories in, calories out, showing that these diets actually cause weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. So not only does dieting not work for long-term weight loss, but it's also associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. What the heck are we doing? You can get as mad at me as you want. Okay, he's not telling us. I just told you 2 minutes ago. But it's not some simple, like, one-sentence protocol. Because it's not just the foods that you would consume, 30% from your grocery store and 70% from these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. It's how you eat them, when you eat them, and serving sizes, not calorie counting. It's totally different. We got coached. The coaching is 100% free because it's not some 1-minute answer. If you want that, do paleo or keto or Mediterranean, or here's some recipes, go for it. But today, go to the mall, look at America. Tell me if you think diets are working. And maybe you think you're special. You're going to maybe you will, maybe it'll work. But if they're saying if 2/3 of you're going to gain more weight than you lost, because here's the medical reason why counting calories can't possibly work. Again, not my opinion. Listen to this, everyone. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the formula of calories in, calories out can support people achieving weight loss, initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained and more. You're going on a diet to gain weight. Well, 2/3 of you. I mean, does that sound good to you? Does that sound like you want to really do? Are you aware now? Are you awake? You can't pretend you don't know that calorie counting is dead. And yet you're going to continue to do it. Evidenced by the people getting off and, I didn't talk fast enough and I don't know, whatever they wanted. I was ignoring their comments. I wasn't even reading your comments. I mean, I got research papers all over the place here to share with you, to show you not my opinion. And I'm not going to give you a 1-minute answer. I'm sorry, I'm just not. It's not fair to you. And the website explains everything anyway. Wait a minute. There's an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, rated the #1 person. That's who you should follow. That's who you should listen to, where he explains this, why it's safe, why it works. You know what he said in the interview? After 40 years, they, as the top weight loss researchers in the world, will never recommend any form of traditional diet ever again to anybody. They said it would be unethical because now they have the results. This is producing results in a week that would take 2 months on a diet. And on the diet, 40% of what people are losing is lean muscle. In this case, these people with no exercise gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass in a month. And why did they not want to exercise? Because they didn't want exercise to be a factor. They didn't want it to be diet and exercise. I guess I would ask all of you, okay, the cost sounds like it's going to be expensive buying food for, no, what are you offering? Gracie, I'm on it. They will contact me. Yes, absolutely, Scott. So poo to glit, and can you talk about the cost? Lies, we lost 40 kilograms from calorie counting. Oh, really? You're done. You're done. Lies. When you say things like that, it shows me you're completely uneducated. You have no proof of a calorie counting diet ever long-term working. We have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. So bye-bye, and you have a great life. I really hope whatever you're doing works for you long-term. You're the one full of it, not me. You don't have any medical background at all, I can tell, or you wouldn't make a stupid statement like that you've just made. Just absolute nonsense, complete and utter nonsense. So we get people like that all the time that want to come on and show me how smart they are, and they actually show me how uneducated they are about this. These are real scientists. These aren't people giving me an opinion on social media. So again, let's come back and talk about, well, Scott, it's just because, look, and what people don't understand, Scott, I'm going to share with all of you, and why someone like that just makes me completely crazy. My own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I never knew her thin. I never knew her healthy. And 24 years ago, she called me up one day and said, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend one day thin. 6 months later, my mom died of a massive heart attack and stroke. My mom died counting calories. My mom did about every one of these damn diets that people, I'm not impressed that they've lost 40 kilograms from counting calories. We'll see where they are in a year. We'll see. And also of what they lost, Scott, to give you an idea, up to 40% of their lean muscle mass. They've made themselves unbelievably unhealthy, whatever they think. It's not about the number on the scale. The other thing they have not done, Scott, they haven't removed a gram of a toxin from the body. Scott and everybody else, this is what you should be afraid of. This new medical syndrome called TDOS. T for toxicity, D for deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. What it means is every person on earth now is storing chemicals inside their fat cells. You don't have to believe me. Look at the study came out about 5 weeks ago now where they're finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. These researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this was assisting the body in removing these chemicals, and even something called phthalates, which are really the deadly part of a plastic. So they can do whatever calorie counting they want, or any of you can. You're free to do whatever you want to do because you're going to anyway. I know that 99% of you are going to go back, do keto, paleo, Mediterranean. I didn't talk fast enough. I didn't explain it. I didn't answer your questions. I mean, this is a free podcast, and you get free coaching. I don't know what more we can do for you than that, right? So anyway, we got a lot of lives on here. So who else? Oh, the cost. I'm sorry, Sandra. I wasn't ignoring you. And going to be expensive. Okay, so here's the way to look at it. Take whatever you spent last month, total dollars. take only 30% of that. You're going to spend this, if you do this, at your grocery store for a month's worth of those foods, but only 30% of what you're going to consume. The other 70% from these exotic foods from around the world that when you add the two together, most people think it's about the same. I'll tell you what it boils down to. The total for everything may be $100 a week. So I don't know what you're spending on food, but that's the most honest answer that I can give you. But listen, we've got kids as young as 2 doing this. Well, they're doing a small portion of this. They're not doing the full program. And then maintenance is down to like $4 a day maybe. Once you get to maintenance, that's how inexpensive it is. And most people feel when they get to maintenance, their total food bill's gone down because all their cravings are gone. They have the proof. Hunger went down 41% in 30 days, Scott. Cravings in 2 weeks went down 40%. But the big thing was blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all plummeted just in 30 days. And for the first time ever, all of you, ever, none of these diets, these counting calories have ever produced anything like this. Inflammation, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there. It came down 25% in a month. It's never been shown on any diet ever before in history. See, you're trying to compare something that's like I don't know how to describe it, a horse and buggy to a Ferrari. Oh, the horse and buggy will get you from point A to point B, but really? What are you doing when it's raining? I mean, look, this had to occur eventually. We have 1 billion people worldwide, clinically obese, according to the Lancet, the #1 medical journal in the world. See, I don't give you opinions. People come on here and they want to give me opinions and they don't have any medical facts like, oh, calorie count, you're lying, calorie counting works. No, it doesn't. Wait a minute. Like he's telling me that calorie counting works. Here's Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our researchers studied calorie reduction diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies showed that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on their diets. So good luck with the calorie counting to gain all your weight back and more. I know everybody thinks I'm crazy. I'm passionate. I'm very, very passionate. Somebody has to be your advocate. Otherwise, you're going to follow these people that are giving you opinions like calories in, calories out works. It doesn't work long term. Where's that other study where they're saying the same thing right here? Why you shouldn't count calories. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep it off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to counter restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. Counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, 2 factors that are known to cause weight gain. So whoever told me that opinion about calorie counting works, first of all, we would never argue that you can lose weight on any diet. Aha, but can you keep it off? I mean, honestly, do any of you really think that calorie counting works? I'd love for you to put it. And look, as long as you're civil, there's no reason to call me names. Even if you don't like me, it doesn't matter. The science doesn't care about me. It doesn't care about my tie. It doesn't care what kind of glasses I have. It doesn't care about anything that I'm doing. The only thing the science cares about is the results. Results are the only thing that matter. I mean, I'm going to show you right now. So how many of you counting calories have ever lost 20 pounds and 38 inches in a month? I know you haven't. You lose maybe a pound a week, maybe, right? And then when you look at Julie here, how about that's 35 pounds in 37 days. Don't tell me calorie counting's ever done anything like that, because it hasn't. And the reason I can say that is because the researchers who did 40 years of research, 100 studied thousands of people on all these diets, they found every person, maybe they lost 20 kilos, but 2/3 of them ended up weighing more than they did when they started. What was the whole point? This picture's 8 years old. She's kept that weight off for 8 years. Does that excite all of you? So who else would like to ask me a question? And hopefully, Pooh, to Gillette, I answered your question about it being expensive. No, it's about what you're going to spend, approximately what you're spending on food now for a month. But look at the results. I mean, look at my friend's daughter. How about that? You think you're going to do that on calorie counting? 60 pounds in 3 months. They said they lost 40, that's 80 pounds they lost. What they didn't tell you is how long it took. I guarantee it wasn't 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, whatever it was. It's just a ridiculous, it's in one sense, I get it. You went on calorie counting and you lost weight, but it's like the race is still ongoing. You think that's the destination. No, it's not. It's the journey. Where will you be in a year? Watch the weight come. Every study says that. It's not, you're trying to give me an opinion that's against medical science. It's like, okay, do you still believe the world's flat? That's what these people are doing, counting calories in the face of 1 billion people worldwide clinically obese. This is the solution. But it's not just a sales gimmick. It's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. And now Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world, has basically come out and endorsed this. I mean, why would they print the cover story and a huge story inside about this if the only reason they did it was there was medical proof? All this other stuff is fluff. Because without a peer-reviewed human trial study, no drug, thank God, ever gets approved. It doesn't get approved on a scientific paper. Human beings clinically tested and scrutinized in peer review. So, looks like there is a membership. No, Scott, it's free. There's no membership fee. Where are you getting that, Scott? If you're looking at the 100% money back guarantee, that's from the 70% of the food you buy from those suppliers. They'll give you 100% of your money back at a month. The 30% you're going to buy from the grocery store, of course, they're not going to. There's no membership fee. There's no joining anything. You're buying directly from those suppliers, and obviously you have a grocery list that you're taking to your grocery store. So let's clear that up. No membership fee, okay? I don't know where you would get that impression because there's no membership fee, and the coaching is free, Scott, 100%. Cost, again, basically, here's a simple way to think about it. Your total food on this, including 30% of the food you buy from the grocery store, probably about $100 a week, maybe a little bit more than that. I'm not sure what you spend overall, but that's a really good indicator of about how much you'd spend. But this is all the food you're going to consume in a month. 30% from your grocery store, that's part of that number, and the other 70% from these foods around the world. So you tell me. Well, are you talking about the interview with Dr. R.C.? But Scott, I'm telling you, there's no fee. Talk to the coaches; they'll tell you that. I don't know. I got to go look at the video. I can't believe that I said that. If I said this, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'll have to go look at it because there's no membership fee. There's no joining anything. Okay. Who else would like to ask me a question? Wow, Talk Treasure, Cat, we only have 505 likes. I've been on for an hour and 11 minutes. That's it. Can you all tap on the phone, at least tell me you appreciate all of this hard research that we've done for 23 years for all of you to bring it to you for free? I mean, you all can go, the website's right there, the New Health Conversation. It's free to go there. We're not going to contact you. I mean, Scott's there now. Scott, you can see there's nothing on there to buy. There's no buy buttons, right? Well, yeah, keep watching, Scott. Scott, in particular, watch the most important video on there is 60 Minutes It'll Change Your Life. Did you see that with Dr. Arciero? Scott, he's correct. Okay. Well, I think what he's saying to everybody, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, I don't want to put words in your mouth. There's nothing to buy on that site. And he's saying yes. So again, it's not a trick, everybody. We're not getting you there and then we're going to charge you for coaching. Oh, you want to be coached? Well, they'll do the initial consultation for free and then it's $500 to coach you. The coaching's free. We got coached. So 70% of the food we'll eat on this plan are exotic food. Yes, you got it, Cincinnati kid. Exactly. Yes. So in a month's time, let's say it's 90 meals in a month. This thing is like 60 some, I don't know, you could do the math yourself, but it's about 70% of what you consume is part of, and that's all part of that cost. But keep in mind, Cincinnati, the difference is, here, let me give you a simple example, because I don't know, were you on long enough when I explained about how they incorporate 30% of the food from the grocery and the 70% from around the world? If not, I'm happy to spend time to explain it to you, because there's all kinds of new people that are coming on as well. So give me a yes or no as to whether or not you heard me. Okay, good. All right, so hopefully you get it, Cincinnati, and everybody gets it. This has nothing to do with the calorie counting, because your body has no idea what a calorie is. It's one of the most ridiculous things anybody ever come up with. The only thing your body registers, period, is Cincinnati, is nutrition. The sad part is that our food in North America is almost nutritionally bankrupt. That's why the researchers, because for 40 years they used organic food sources from the United States. You've got to understand this is, well, it was started about 12 years ago. That's how long these medical studies take to get published. And so when the theory was, and it was a theory when they started, the fallacy of diets was that the body runs, it has nothing to do with calories. It doesn't even know what a calorie is. But we have a minimum amount of nutrition, Cincinnati, that we run on. And when you go on a diet, what you're doing is you're reducing the quantity of food you're consuming. I don't care what the diet is. At the end of the day, that's what it is. All right, it's a scheme to reduce the intake. But at the same time, what they're never telling you is you're reducing the amount of nutrition. When you reduce nutrition, the brain figures out there's not enough fuel to run the brain, the heart, the kidney. What does it do? It stops you from accessing the fuel inside your fat cells and turns to your muscles for fuel. And as you begin to lose your muscle, the brain slows down your metabolism. That's why you lose weight initially, Cincinnati, on these diets initially. Then it trickles, then you plateau, and then you give up and you go on another diet and you gain everything back. But the other thing it's doing to you, in Cincinnati, when you go on a diet, by losing lean muscle, you slow down your own immune system. So you're literally making yourself unhealthy by going on these diets. Maybe people don't want to hear that. Like the people that said they lost, 40 kilos, they lost a significant amount of that weight was lean muscle mass, whether they want to believe it or not. They've literally made themselves more vulnerable to pathogens and bacteria and all the bad stuff that the immune system takes care of. So if you knew that in advance, Cincinnati, would you go on a diet by counting calories where it's almost 100% guarantee that 25 to 40% of your lean muscle you're going to lose, slowing down your own immune system? I'm not sure you'd do that. So the thing that was so significant about this was even though the people were losing the kind of weight in a month that took a year on diets, when they measured, they lost no water weight in 30 days, and people gained 6 to 9% lean muscle, and no one was allowed to exercise because the researchers didn't want exercise to be a factor. Cincinnati, does that make sense? Please give me a yes that you understand what I'm not just explaining it to you, hopefully I'm explaining it to everybody. See, this whole theory about calorie counting is nuts. I mean, effectively what you're doing, you're making yourself unhealthy. And all these big medical studies, which I have over here, that, talk about the fact that why you shouldn't count calories. Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories right here. Stop counting. This is Harvard Medical School, for crying out loud. And they said, drop the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, now they're saying it's just wrong. It says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said it's time to take a different approach by concentrating what's in the food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what all the medical studies say now. They were wrong. They told us about counting calories. It was about restricting the amount of calories we were consuming and never told us. It seems hard to believe they didn't figure this out. The body wasn't running on calories. It doesn't even know what a calorie is. So, good, Cincinnati. So clean for life. No, it's way more. No, it's not a healthy powder. No, you miss it. There are 70 trace ionic minerals. There's 21 naturally occurring vitamins. There are elements that come from Mongolia and Tibet that absolutely slow down, lower stress in your body and inflammation. So the world's most perfect meal is made up of these massive amounts of nutrients that come from food sources that don't exist in the United States, if that makes sense to you, okay? Yeah, our food is garbage. Well, we're agreeing. It sounds like you're a student of this. That's great. I love it when people are educated. And I guess I get too upset when people come on and they make, they're making opinion. They're giving comments and opinions with no medical proof. I mean, when I'm looking at 10, 12, 15, 20 studies saying that effectively counting calories is completely ridiculous. I mean, right here, I'll read from this new study. I just got this morning. The latest research dismantles the calorie counting paradigm by demonstrating that weight loss or maintenance depends on food quality. The body doesn't count calories. It processes food through internal systems that prioritize nutrient density and energy homeostasis. That's what I've been explaining, Cincinnati. If you think you can do this with regular food, even organic, good luck. The researchers did that. 40 years, they gave people organic food in all these studies, and they proved in the long run that 2/3 of people gained more weight than they lost. It makes sense. Because on all these diets, lack of nutrition caused the body to go in starvation mode and turn your muscles into fuel. I mean, I read to everybody, I don't know if you were around when I read that from the New England Journal of Medicine on semaglutide, one of the GLP-1s, and I'm not against the shots. They're helping diabetics and people who are morbidly obese. But as a researcher, we want to show you what's the real story behind it. This was 68 weeks, a year and 4 months. That weight loss in 68 weeks, this is right in the study, was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. And then they went on to say, this is clinically relevant reduction in body weight. Really? Let's take a look at Curtis over here, Cincinnati. He must have not got 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. He's an older guy. That's not the best. Look at his blood work. Look at his A1C, 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides, 242 to 124. You think that happens on any diet? Do you see, Cincinnati, the difference? I registered. I can't promise you today because I'm creating my own monster. But within 24 hours max, if you don't hear back, register again. Where was the research? Sorry, I just joined the live. Well, the research, it's not just research. They're peer-reviewed, human trial, published studies in some of the biggest medical journals in the world, like Obesity, Frontiers in Physiology, Nutrients, a Nutrition Journal, Frontiers in Nutrition, and Nature Communications, which is the #1 medical journal in the world. This is a game changer. It appears you're up on this stuff. So on our website, just to show you here, write that, well, if you want to. I'm not your boss, but I'm inviting you. You see in blue right above the magazine cover, the New Health Conversation. When you go there, well, let me show everybody so you don't think here's the website, what you'll see at the website. There's nothing on that website to buy. So 1 is an exclusive interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist. 3, those are the medical studies that you can go and look at. Bharath Sagar. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize in advance. I don't mean to be disrespectful. So, but you can click and it takes you to the studies. We're not fooling around. There's no gimmicks here. On that website, there's nothing to buy. That's all that's on the website. We have someone on there right now, and they've validated what I'm saying. They're on the website. There's nothing to buy. There's no buy buttons. But we give you the option. And once you've looked at all the medical proof, then you can scroll down on that same page, the bottom, free coaching. And it's free the whole time. Listen, we got kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old in this medical. This is the cover of the #1 women's magazine in the world now. Just came out on Friday. They're endorsing this. Look, over 50 protein miracle. The daughter's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 90 days. The mom is 80. She lost 91 pounds in 9 months. And they kept it off for 2 years. How did it get in this magazine? It's a news story because of these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that nobody else has. It sounds like you understand the significance of a peer-reviewed human trial study, not a scientific paper on mice, chickens, rats, whatever they're doing. This is a huge breakthrough. This has changed everything for us. Now we have both the 10 peer-reviewed studies that allowed that to be recognized by the #1 women's magazine in the world. And look at what they said right there. See, backed by 10 studies, powerful new eating pattern can take off weight faster than anything else you've tried. That's them. We didn't write the copy. Well, I didn't have anything to do with it, except I did these 2 women. I coached them. I know them. They're my friends. I mean, what do you think about that? Pretty cool? Nobody else has this. Nobody. It's just like, it's silly. When people come on and they tell me, well, it's all about calorie counting. No, it's not. It's total nonsense. It's so disproven, it's not even worth, I have to keep going back to it because people are so brainwashed in, calories out, which doesn't work. Yes, Scott. Oh my gosh, yes. Now, Scott, let me show you an athlete. Scott, are you ready for this? Now, I want to warn everybody, this picture was someone doing the protocol, not part of the medical studies, okay? But Scott, I think you'll appreciate this as an athlete. It's almost like you're going to think we photoshopped it, Scott, but I want your reaction once you see it. Day 1 on the left, really pretty good shape. Look at the abdomen, stomach area, right? Now, when it says day 5, Scott, that's 4 days. That's the morning of day 5. Look at the change. And then day 12 is 11 days. That's the morning of day 12. Look at that change, Scott. Do you think it works? Do you think it works? Now, again, all of you can think it's photoshopped. But this one, I guarantee you, I kind of know this person. Scott, that's my youngest son, and he's 40 years old. Look at that change, not 20. Look at that change. Scott, what do you think about that? Please tell me. Oh, one great Bahar's sugar. You're going to love it. You're going to love going there and see the medical proof. But also, and if I'm mispronouncing your name, please forgive me. I'm not being, I just don't know how to pronounce your name, right? So, yeah. See, Scott, now do you think it's a diet? Anyway, Baharath, not only on their website are the clinical studies, but there's an interview that I really encourage everybody to watch. It's called 60 Minutes That'll Change Your Life. It is with the recognizers. You know, as a researcher, they recognize researchers by their importance, by how many times are they cited, right? So the ratings, and maybe you're familiar with the H index, that's how they rank the significance of a researcher, right? So a really good rating, it's not 0 to 100, they have a different scale. A 20 is considered really good. People who won the Nobel Prize are normally like a 30. His rating, 46. And he and his team are the ones that created this. After 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, they invented this. But they don't sell anything. They don't have any products. So watching that interview with him, I think you'll be fascinated because he goes through why it works. You know what he said in the interview? They'll never recommend any form of traditional diet ever again. They said it would be unethical because they're producing results that no one's ever seen before. And it's safe. Do you know that despite the fact, Bharath, that men and women lost as much weight in a month as a year on diets, they lost no water weight and they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. And in addition, let me come back up here for just a moment. So Scott, I think you can see that this is pretty cool. In addition, they saw blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all come down dramatically. But this will impress you. For the first time in history, they measured inflammation. And you probably are familiar with the biomarkers for inflammation. I know for somebody who's going over our head, but I'm having a great talk here with a real scientist, researcher that'll understand. So when they did T-bars, that's the measurement that they used to calculate C-reactive protein in interleukin-1. Listen to this. It went down 25% in 30 days. This has never been seen before. Now, one other huge thing, I did discover this medical syndrome. I know you're coming on late, so I want to explain it to you. This is a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. The T is for toxicity, the D is for nutritional deficiency, the O for being overweight, the S is for stress. We're storing chemicals inside our fat cells. It's not up for debate. Study after study proves that. Well, in these studies, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving that this was assisting the body in removing the chemicals. The reason that you see her stomach shrink so much from day 1 to day 30 with no exercise. On the left, that's the indication in our body, we're storing these chemicals inside the fat cell. And as the chemical comes in the fat cell explains. And as you know, they're telling people that you can burn fat, which is total nonsense. We're born with a certain number of fat cells, we die with a certain number of fat cells, and fat cells expand or contract. Well, there's your proof. Well, because they did it through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, but you can see right there the change in her stomach with no exercise, no sit-ups, etc. So, okay. Is it grass-fed finished? It's got to be finished, Scott. It can't just be grass-fed. That's an example of something we teach you. I'm not saying you're not doing that, but most people don't understand, oh, well, grass-fed's good enough. No, it isn't. The researchers selected grass-fed finished beef, just to let you know. So anyway, Bharath, I just want to make sure that you understand that you can go to that website, see all the proof. And if you go there, we're not going to contact you. But you might be fascinated. Watch that interview. You will be fascinated by it. All the medical people that have gone there, their mouths just drop open. They said, this is going to change the world. It is. You understand, I hope you'll go with me, that we have the medical proof that everything I'm showing is real. Based on that, how would anybody ever go on a traditional diet of calories in, calories out? How would they do? Why or how would they do that? Especially someone like yourself that is a real researcher that will appreciate what they did in these studies and the breakthrough. They're getting calls from the top obesity experts in the world. Like the top doctor at Harvard University called them and said, you've made every diet obsolete. Because it's not about dieting, it's about the amount of nutrition that we need on a consistent basis. See, the other thing they created were 2 new ways of consuming food. I'll get to that in a moment because I want to share with everybody. Everybody's asking me, well, how did they do it? How did they do it? How did they do it, right? Yeah, right. Okay, can I take this instead of my protein? You want to take this in addition to your protein. Your proteins but they're very small amounts. You're going to have protein. I'm not doing it off the top of my head. I think it's maybe 4 to 6 ounces of steak, chicken, liver, whatever it is. But again, Scott, that's why a coach is so important, just to clarify those points. But it's all outlined anyway. The foods by group, by name, and the amounts by serving size, Scott, not by calories. Does that make sense, Scott? Give me a yes or a no. Scott, in general, is this really making sense to you? Do you understand it's not a diet? Do you understand this isn't about counting calories? Do you understand how this is going to, If you look at the medical proof, why, not you, but just in general, why would anyone ever go on a normal diet counting calories, whether it's paleo, keto, Mediterranean? Scott, what diets have you tried in the past? I'm just very, very curious. And how much weight would you like to lose? You're saying yes, that this all makes sense to you. Great. So we have 1,800 likes now. At least we're getting more likes. Thank you all very much. So Cat with, I think it's Cat with the hat. Like, wow, lots of hearts, lots of roses. Thank you all very, very much for supporting us. I want you to understand we're on your side. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. This saved my life. I'll share with you my own personal story, and I'm not going to suggest any of you do what I'm doing. And we're not here to treat, cure, diagnose, or make any medical proclamations. But 23 years ago, I walk in my doctor's office in my yearly physical, and he come in and says, I got some bad news for you. I said, what? He said, if you don't do something radically different when you walk out of here, you have an 85% chance of a heart attack within 18 months. Your cholesterol's 400, your triglycerides are 300, you're 40 pounds overweight. I was pretty shocked. So he put me on diet, exercise, and a statin. And I came back 8 weeks later. I'd lost 8 pounds. He was happy about that, but my cholesterol only came down like 10 or 15 points. That same day, you can call it fate, whatever, I ran into a friend of mine who played professional football for the Oakland Raiders and heard about this detox. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is. It's not a diet. It's a detox. And I said, I'll try anything. I went on it. I lost 8 pounds in 4 days. I lost 12 pounds in 9 days. I lost 20 pounds in 18 days. I went from a 42 to a 34-inch waist. I'm still in 34-inch waist, 34-inch jeans today, 23 years later. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, and that's not the good part of the story. Went back to my doctor for the follow-up. This time he comes in, throws my chart down and says, how much statin are you taking? This is the part. I'm not telling you not to do what I did. I'm just telling you what I did. I said, Doc, I haven't touched that stuff in 2 months. He said, well, the lab made a mistake. We need to retest you. I said, why? He said, your cholesterol's gone from 400 to 120. Your triglycerides from 300 to 30. You've lost 40 pounds. I said, you're not retesting me. That's why I believe I'm here for a reason. Maybe to irritate all of you and make you mad and have people call me names and whatever. You know, it's like really science. The thing I love about science and research is it doesn't have any emotions unlike me. It doesn't have an agenda. It certainly has no prejudice. It just is. So when people want to argue with me, they're really arguing with science, because the only thing we do at the New Health Conversation, I tell the censors that all the time, we only share with you the medical proof. But listen, everybody, when you have 10 period, Sharon, when did you sign up, Sharon? I mean, because again, if you didn't hear back, something's wrong. But go and sign up again, and I promise I'll look in the file as soon as. Wow, so something's really wrong. There's no way, huh? So can you sign up again? I will personally go there and look as soon as I'm off this podcast or within the next hour or so, and I'll email you back to confirm that I got your information. We'll get you a coach. I'll do a rush. You'll get a coach today. Okay? That is not now. Flow is, well, okay, let me explain it to you, flow. It's essentially is the number one reason to do it is to detox. But here's the difference. Any of these other detox things you're seeing at the grocery store or whatever about detox, there's not one shred of medical evidence behind them. What makes us so different, Flow, is we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies where they measured blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving that this protocol, although the weight loss is unbelievable, the most important reason is to remove or help the body start to remove these chemicals from the body. So in the blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis they did on this, they proved it was removing those chemicals. Any other detox, I stand to be wrong, you show me any other detox out there in the world that has any medical proof behind it, other than marketing. This has real medical science. And look at this, just to give you an idea. Look at her stomach. See day 1? That's an indication of the chemicals being stored in her abdomen area. Then day 30 with no exercise at all. Look at that. And now again, you have to understand that this is based on the medical proof. I'm just showing you, you could say it's anecdotal, but that's real. And then when you look at this woman here, it's just crazy. This is 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the change in the size of her body. So it's not just that she lost weight, it's her fat cells were shrinking. She's not losing fat. That's a lie. No one ever loses fat. You're born with a certain amount of fat cells. You die with a certain number of fat cells, and they either expand or they contract. Anybody telling you that you're burning fat on a diet or a workout program, they're just flat out wrong. They're just flat out wrong. So Again, so Flo, I'm going to explain to you what they did here in just a moment. Sharon. So do that, Sharon. I'm serious. I'll personally follow up for you, okay? We're not perfect, Sharon, and I will, for all of you, I want you to understand. Our Achilles heel, our limitation is we only have so many coaches. And we're not letting anybody do this. We got coached. So why would it be fair for you to invest your time and your money and not get the same benefit? Because how you do this is really probably more important than what you're going to be eating, because there's no products here, Flo, no products. This is food. It's food groups put together by the top weight loss nutrition researchers in the world. 30% from the grocery store, you'd get a list of proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie counts, they give you serving sizes. But only 30% of what she consumed in a month came from her grocery store. The other 70% came from these exotic foods around the world, from places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. And those foods had huge amounts of nutrition, but very small amounts of food. So now, Flo, you have the elements, okay? You have 30% from your grocery store, you get the list, and 70% you buy directly from these suppliers, not from us. There's no gimmicks here. You're buying directly from them. But then you do two completely new ways of consuming food. Starting with 5 days a week, you have 4 meals a day. Your first meal is from these exotic foods from around the world, no food from the grocery store. Second meal, lunch from the grocery store list. Third meal from the grocery store list. And a fourth meal is the exotic foods around the world. So 5 days a week. Now here's the part that causes the detox. 2 days a week, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these foods from around the world. But listen to this, Flo. This time she did 8 servings a day. She was eating these exotic foods every hour and a half. Small amounts, but huge amounts of nutrition. And the researchers who did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proved that after that 48 hours, chemicals were coming out of the body. And see, the thing people complain to us the most is not just about how much weight they lose, it's how much fat they have, especially in the abdomen, diaphragm, waist areas. Most women on this lose a whole dress size in the first 7 days. No one was allowed to exercise. Now, the researchers on against exercise, but they wanted to prove that this was all about this protocol that they had invented, okay? But imagine that. So 5 days a week, she's having 4 meals a day, and 2 days a week, she's doing a 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Now, this is until she gets to her goal, okay? So in other words, the protocol, which we didn't name it, they did, the researchers, is called R2M, Race to Maintenance. Now, the researchers who created this, they don't have a company. They don't have any products. We don't sell you anything. They don't sell you anything. You get a grocery list. You take it to your grocery store, 30% of the food. The other 70% from the foods around the world. And then the other thing we offer to you for free, and it's free, is if you go to that website right above the magazine in blue, the New Health Conversation, that's the medical website. There's nothing to buy. The only thing there is the medical proof. Once you do that, you get to choose. And then right above, see where it says free coaching to ensure your success, right above the New Health Conversation, the coaching's free. So once you determine this is safe and you like it and you see the medical proof, then you have the option to get a coach or not, or you can sail off into the sunset. We're not going to contact you anyway, no. And this website now is being seen all over the world. We're getting people, yesterday we had people in Germany and in the Netherlands and in the UK and in New Zealand and Australia, because I do these at least 3 times a day, so I'm in 3 or 4 different time slots over the day because there's so many people that want to know about this. And there's all these critics that want to come on and give their opinion about calories in and calories out. It's just a waste of time. I'm not going to really even address that other than showing you the medical proof that calorie counting is dead. But Flo, hopefully that makes sense to you. And the idea is to get you to your goal. And I didn't explain that. So maintenance is one of these exotic food, that's breakfast. That's what I do every single morning. And then 2 normal meals. And then maybe once every couple months, do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast, not for weight loss, but for helping your body, assisting in this removal of the chemicals that are onslaughting us every single day. We're drinking, breathing, eating them. I don't know if all of you saw that. You can Google it. They're now finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. When they're literally doing coronary bypass surgery, part of the blockage they're finding are these microplastics. This is like horror story. everybody should be detoxing. But again, the commercial detoxes that I haven't seen one of them with one shred of medical evidence. They give you opinions, like I forget what the stuff is that they have you, not charcoal, but something else. Bentonite, I think it's bentonite that you take, but there's no medical proof behind it. It's just an opinion. This has medical proof behind it. That's what makes it so different. That's why it ended up on the cover of Women's World magazine, the #1 women's magazine in the world. Just came out Friday, June 6th. Over 50 protein miracle. That's the magazine's terminology. Now, why? Because there were 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that gave Women's World the confidence to recommend this. I mean, inadvertently, that's what they're doing. They wrote a 2-page article. This is just great. And you can't buy this kind of publicity. I mean, look at this, everyone. A 2-page spread. Look, new protein miracle diet. Pretty good, I think. I don't know how many of you get but it's been around for like 80 years. It's the #1 circulated women's magazine in the world. It's not a scam. This is real. Now, let me see who else is coming on in just 2 cents as MD and obesity researcher. Oh, wait a minute. No, saying this protocol doesn't work. I think it's good, but it doesn't prove inverse is how it doesn't work. Okay, Bayruth, let's look at all the studies. Do you want to talk about like thermodynamics? What would you like to talk about in terms of respectfully disagreeing with you? Okay, calorie counting is absolutely doesn't work, and here's why. Here's the medical reasoning. Okay, and this is what's going on. So the biggest failing of calories in, calories out formula is it ignores the body adjusted control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the formula calories in, calories out can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained and more. Go on, Harvard Medical School, one of your contemporaries, right? Stop counting calories. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford, that it's time to concentrate on what's in the food, not how much food we're consuming, okay? Another study, why you shouldn't count calories. Our researchers found that while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse is 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. Counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, 2 factors that are known to cause weight gain. So with all due respect, and we can disagree, calorie counting is dead, it's finished, it's over, it doesn't work. Again, you show me any diet to produce this in an older gentleman, 40 pounds, 52 inches in a month. Look at his blood work. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, his triglycerides from 242 to 124. Calorie counting does not work long-term, period. End of the story. And thermodynamics has been completely disqualified. I've got the article here somewhere. Let's see, can I find it? I don't know, maybe, and I'm not saying you were going to talk about thermodynamics, but in case you were, I've got the evidence that thermodynamics, well, it's simple. Thermodynamics applies to a closed loop system. The human body is not a closed loop system. It doesn't apply. And also understand, with all due respect, these researchers, they're rated the #1 researchers in the world. The #1. They have the medical proof. And they don't have any products. They don't sell anything. I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy that you're skeptical, but go watch the interview with them and then see what you think. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not here to convince you or sell you or anybody. I'm here to educate people. Because honestly, we have Johns Hopkins Medical School right here. I don't think you were on when I read from that new study. Here it is. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. So if calorie counting worked, how would we be in this dilemma? You know the numbers. In 1964, it was around 15% overweight or obese. And now they're projecting in 2024 that we're going to be at 86% overweight and obese. I mean, I don't think it's pretty conclusive evidence that counting calories is not working. It isn't. So, yes, kids can do this. We have kids as young as 2 doing this. Oh, well, get this issue. Let's see. Okay, explain my point. Right. But you have to understand that had nothing to do with it. It had to do with the nutrition inside those calories. That's the point. It did not have to do with the calorie amounts. It had to do with the nutritional density. Okay? Can we agree on that? That's what made it different. They've done tons of diets where they gave people 1,800 calories. They never had to produce a result like this because they were relying on organic food from North America that's all but nutritionally bankrupt. You weren't on when I talked about Cornell University did a study on the iron levels in spinach. From 1953 to 2000, they've decreased by 4,300%. The researchers did organic food. They did low-calorie diets. They never produced anything like this. No, if you talk, listen to him. Listen to what he says about that in the studies. It has nothing to do with the quantity. It has to do with the nutritional density. It'd be like if you could go and fill up your car today and you had two pumps. Pump number one says this gallon take you 20 miles. Pump number two takes you 100 miles. That's what the researchers did and sought out and found and proved. Try and compare any other 1,800 calorie diet or 2,000 to this. It doesn't exist. No, it's not calories in, calories out at all. No, absolutely not. Again, I invite you, implore you, please go look at the interview with him. He's ranked the #1 nutrition, weight loss, and he's a physiologist. He's not just a nutritionist. That's a big deal. I don't want you to believe me. It's not my research. I'm sharing with the world this research for them to make a different decision. Maybe. But my God, it's a free website and they get coached for free. If it didn't work, how in the hell, pardon my French, could we do this? I appreciate very much your academic questioning. It's great that you're doing that. But I think you're going to be pretty shocked when you go and watch his interview. He said they'll never recommend any form of traditional diet again. They did 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet out there. You don't think they had calorie counting, always calories in, calories out? That was the whole point. You missed my tee up when I said what they figured out was that was the problem. That what was going on any diet, they were reducing the amount of food they were consuming. You could call it calories, but it was really they were reducing nutrition. So again, they put 100-mile-a-gallon gas in the human body. That's why it worked. I mean, look at these results. Look at her stomach. I mean, listen, wait till you see this. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. You think that would ever happen on a calorie-restricted diet? In 3 months, 60 pounds? That's 5 pounds a week average. That's why this is so exciting. And someone like yourself who could, convince yourself. I can't convince you. But if this is real, do you understand what this could do for humanity? Do you know right now the newest study in the Lancet, you're probably familiar with the #1 medical journal in the world, in March of 2024, they published a study saying 1 billion people worldwide are clinically obese. And what are we doing? Calories in, calories out. It doesn't work. Because they ignore the only thing that matters to the body. It's not the calorie, it's the nutrition. So if you can fuel your body with less amount of food and more nutrition, that's what the researchers did. That's why this works. I mean, seriously, Curtis? I mean, an older guy to lose 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month, and then you look at his blood work? You think any calories in, calories out would ever produce anything like that? Never seen it. Look at his stomach. Look at how much his stomach went down. That's with no exercise. They had to wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. And if you go to the website, you're going to see people that lost 100 pounds, no loose skin. I don't want you to believe me, but go look at the medical proof. That's your field. You'll love it. You'll absolutely go, oh my gosh. I hope you will, okay? It's all about the nutrient-dense foods. Well, the mechanics behind it. I'm 6'1", 175, just want more muscle. We'll do that. Yes, absolutely, Scott. Well, Scott, you saw the before and after of my son. Seriously, what did you think? He's your height. He's 6'1", and I think in that picture, I think he's about 165 now. He lost 10 pounds, but you can see how much he changed. So, Bara, let's talk about what did they do. So, because of these nutrient-dense foods, they could say they didn't care. They were able to give them less quantity. Okay, so if you wanted to use 1,800 calories, which is not what they used really serving sizes. If you saw what people get when they get the outline of what to do, I just got to find it here. Let me hold it up for you. I love your questions, by the way. This is really exciting for me anyway. But they get this. It's called the Blueprint of Success, which was developed by the researchers. And each one of those yellows is a daily video explaining exactly what they're doing and why they were doing it. So their theory, and it was a theory, if we could reduce the quantity of food people were getting, but increase nutrition. So that's when they invented, 30% of the food that people get from a grocery list that the researchers developed, proteins, fats, carbs. For example, when it's meat, if it's hamburger steak, it's got to be grass-fed, finished. If it's carbohydrates, they have to be complex carbohydrates. And it's all based on serving size, not on the amount of calories. Okay, you got that part? That's 30% of what he consumed. The other 70% came from these exotic foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that formed what the researchers have called the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. Because not only did it have huge amounts of nutrition, but it included nutrients like from Mongolia and from Tibet that represented nutrients that don't exist in North America, even if people are doing organic. So now they had 30% of the food from the grocery and 70% from around the world. Then here's the key. They theorized and had proven that it wasn't just how much food you ate, it was what was the sequence, what was the timing in between. So they figured out, and people get a schedule. 5 days a week, they had 4 meals a day. They were eating about every 2 hours. And those foods were like this. So the first meal of the day, breakfast, was from these exotic foods around the world. Lunch from the grocery list. Dinner from the groceries list. And a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. But the timing was important. Because number one, when they had diabetics, they wanted to make sure they didn't see any insulin spikes. But you'll be impressed with this. In 30 days, you can see it in the studies, insulin came down 41% in 30 days. Never seen before. All the diabetics on here were monitored by their doctors. They all had to cut their meds by at least 50% in just 30 days. That's why it's not a diet. But you can look at his A1C. Right there, look, 8.4 to 6.4. I mean, it's just crazy how effective this is. So the 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. Then 2 days a week, and this was critical to the detox portion of this, they had them eat no food from the grocery store, zero. Only these nutrients from around the world. So on those days, it was like, if you wanted to use calories, which I don't use, 300 to 400 calories total for the whole day. But they were eating these nutrient-dense foods, and he ate them 8 times a day. He was eating every hour and a half for 2 hours. No insulin spikes, no crashes, listen, hunger went down 41% in a month because it wasn't based on calories. It wasn't based on the amount of food. It was based on nutritional density. Like I said, now I'm sure you know this, that every night we go to sleep, as long as we don't eat too late, the body suspends digestion and automatically, without us doing anything, begins the detox process called autophagy when we get rid of the dead cells. The researchers recreated that when people were awake. And they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving that this was assisting the body in removing herbicides, and pesticides, and Scotchgard, and Teflon, and flame retardants, and even the phthalates, which are part of plastics. This is life-changing. This is going to change the world. Anybody that would go on any form of nutrition other than this, maybe something in the future will be better. But right now, it's not a fair comparison. Because to give you an idea, okay, Berth, this was a big study published in the Obesity Journal. And in this case, they took the number one diet in the world, the Mediterranean diet, voted 8 years in a row by U.S. News & World Report, number one diet. One group of people did the Mediterranean diet, and the other group did this R2M. On the Mediterranean diet, after 8 months, people lost 10.2 pounds. Of the 10.2 pounds, they published it in the study, up to 40% was lean muscle. These people, in this, they lost 16 pounds in a month, lost no water weight, and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. And they ended up, one of them, in 5 months, lost like 150 pounds. And by the way, it's a follow-on study. It's the longest study ever done on obesity, where they're still following him. It's years later. He still kept the weight off. That's why it's called R2M, race to maintenance. Well, if this thing blows away the number one diet in the world, what more do we need to say? These diets just don't work. Here's another big study. You'll be impressed. In the Journal of the American Medical Association. This was a 12-month study. Title, Comparison of Weight Loss Among Named Diet Programs in Overweight and Obese Adults. They looked at 48 unique randomized trials, 7,286 individuals, and they named all the major diets: keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, carb recycling, the carnivore diet, zone, lose weight for your blood type, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, etc. When they compared after 12 months, the most amount of weight loss to the least amount of weight loss in a year, it was 10 ounces. And 16 pounds in a year, and 25 to 40% of what they lost was lean muscle mass. Do people, do you see what I'm saying? It's ludicrous. No one's arguing that you can lose weight on any diet, but what kind of weight are you losing? If 25 to 40% of what you're losing is lean muscle mass, we know that by losing lean muscle, I'm sure you know as a researcher, it just doesn't slow down your metabolism, it slows down your immune system. I saw this up close and personal. My younger brother in 2011 was 6'4". He was diagnosed with kidney cancer. And from the time he was diagnosed until he passed away 8 months later, when he passed away, he weighed 115 pounds. He was skin and bones. So I saw, you talk about a calorie-restricted diet, yeah. It's really sad what we're doing to ourselves. We're creating what's called catabolic metabolism. For those who don't know what that means, it effectively is the body eating the organs. In a diet, thank goodness, you basically start eating your muscles. And in anorexia, like many of you maybe know the singer, maybe you don't, Karen Carpenter, who had severe anorexia. And when she passed away, she'd gone through all her muscle, all her fat. And at the end, they claimed that her body was eating her heart. She died of a heart attack. That's catabolic metabolism, and it's extreme. But every diet they study, 25 to 40% of what people are losing is lean muscle mass. And it's not like you come off and we know that the weight people are gaining back, 95%, is an expansion in the fat cells. This is crazy what we're doing, just crazy. So we really hope we're going to bring some light to this whole thing. But you, okay, because who else is asking me? Let's see, thank you. I'm going to keep listening to the site. Okay, great. Am I making sense, Scott? Does this make even more sense to you? So again, Bahar, does that make sense on the mechanics of what I just explained to you? I hope it does. But again, Bahar, the main thing, I don't want you to believe me. Go to the website and listen to, his name is Dr. Paul Arciero. I mean, I'm sure you'd appreciate it if he's ranked. Listen, to give you an idea, Bob, you'll appreciate this. He's been cited 9,400 times, his research. 9,400, not 94, not 940, 9,400. You'll see him in the interview. He'll say they'll never recommend any form of diet again. He said it would be unethical for them. I can't wait for you to go there. I just think it'll be really, really exciting and be amazing. So, absolutely good. So who else? We're 2,400 likes. Oh, Talk Treasure, Cat the live like JC. A lot of hearts. Oh, you're also nice. So again, you have me live. What other questions you want? I'm going to stay as long as you want me. I'll do one-on-ones. This is live. This is not pre-recorded. This is your chance. Aren't you curious about that mom and daughter? They lost 140 pounds collectively. They did it together. This just came out, this magazine, and I coached both of them. Yeah, me, that was pretty cool. I'm so proud of them. But look at that. That's the cover of Women's World. It came out last Friday, June 6th. You can go to the newsstand today and buy it. It's a wonderful, it's been around for like 80 years. You think they'd put you on the cover of this if this was some kind of scam or it didn't work? No, they did it because of the medical proof. And again, I know I'm repeating myself, but just bear with me here. Don't get mad at me. The point is that this is the most amazing. No one's ever seen anything like this. Look at the article. It's 2 full pages. Can you read it? New Protein Miracle Diet. Well, that's the magazine saying that. This is not an ad. And then read underneath over 50 protein. You should be able to read that. Powerful new eating pattern can take weight off faster than anything else you've tried. Aren't you curious a little bit? But the sad part is the majority of you are going to go back to paleo, keto, Mediterranean. You're going to the gym, you're lifting weights. Not that, well, going to the gym is not bad. No, of course not. But it's not a strategy to lose weight and keep it off. I'm sorry to tell you that. It isn't. NAF, hard, lose weight, your thoughts. Look, nothing's 100%. And I would say that here's what's so cool about it, all right? You're going to basically buy a month's worth of food, 30% from the grocery store. They're not going to give you a refund. But the other people that you're going to get 70% of the food from that comes from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, they will give you 100% of your money back in the first 30 days. So you get to try it. If it doesn't work, you have no risk, because you're going to have enough food for 30 days regardless, okay? So I would say this, that not doing it would be maybe not the smartest thing to do, right? Does that make sense to you? 4 times 4K, 4 LS, 4H, 4I. I hope I got that right. Now, does anybody else have any other questions that they want to ask me? I'm going to stay, but I'm just curious as to if you have any other questions. Well, sadly, you know, the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, they estimate now 35% of Americans have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I can tell you this, that when they've done, well, one of the things they did prove in this, in the studies, that the liver enzymes, you know, they really came down. We're not curing, treating, diagnosing, making any medical proclamations. But like I said, it's almost like, how could you not try it, especially when there's 100% money back guarantee, and the chances it's going to work are way greater than the chances it won't work. And if it doesn't work, you get all your money back. Is there any other diet you know of, 4K, 4L, I believe that is? Is there any other diet you know of that you think would work? I mean, almost 40% of Americans have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease now. Not just if you have that, then you're part of it. But I would encourage you, so everybody, I want you to know, go to the New Health Conversation. You can see it there in blue. See it right above the article? So 4K. Give me a yes if you see that medical website, so I know that you can see it. Sometimes people, I don't know, for one reason they have a hard time seeing it, so I want to make sure you can see it. So that website, the New Health Conversation, you type it in, there's no spaces, it'll take you to the medical website where you can see all the medical proof. But the most important thing on there is an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He's ranked #1. I don't want you to listen to me. Why would you have to listen to me? I'm the researcher of the researchers. So we're bringing you the research from these world-class experts, and they're all saying counting calories is dead, over, done, finished. It'll never work again. Even Harvard Medical School is saying that. I mean, I got it right here. Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. Here's what they said. Most people have been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories, specifically 3,500, you lose a pound. But as it turned out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. They go on to say, Harvard Medical School, the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, she says. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's exactly what the researchers did. They don't have anything to do with Harvard. I've got study after study after study over here. Right here, the latest research dismantles the calorie counting paradigm by demonstrating that weight loss maintenance depends on food quality, hormonal responses, gut microbiome, and the body doesn't count calories. It processes foods through internal systems that prioritize nutrient density and energy homeostasis. Well, this is the experts telling you that calorie counting is dead. I mean, do whatever you want to do. Can anybody put in the chat a diet you're on right now that's not counting calories? But here's the thing. I've been going now for over 2 hours, and I started in the very beginning. Maybe I should have brought it up more times. Anybody in here, give me the definition of a calorie. I want to know what a calorie is. You're counting calories. Why? If you don't know what a calorie is, why are you counting? Why are you counting calories? Every research paper over here says that counting calories is finished. I mean, why you shouldn't count calories, while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to counter restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. What are you all doing? Why are you counting calories? Again, I'll wait. I want someone to give me the definition of a calorie, the medical definition. Does anyone know what a calorie is? Hey, we're at 2,400 likes. Can we get some more taps on that screen? We got to get in the 3,000s at least, because I'm going to go for a while more, and I'll stay and answer whoever's questions. But aren't you all curious about how in the world did the mom and the daughter 57 years old, loses 50 pounds in 90 days. The mom, 90, loses 91 pounds in 9 months. And look, they've kept it off for 2 years. Doesn't that pique your curiosity? Because I know people are coming on and they're jumping off and they don't get it and they don't think this is real and it's fake and no, this is real. This is the only protocol for weight loss ever with 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies that have been scrutinized and analyzed by the top medical doctors and researchers in the entire world. This is a really, really big deal for all of you, for humanity. We have 80% of America overweight today and 50% obese and 50% pre-diabetic. And Johns Hopkins Medical School just projected that within 4.5 years, that 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. Does that sound like any of you that diets are working? I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, tell me a diet you think works long term. Explain to me about calories in, calories out, why you think that works. I'm a nice person. It's not like we have to get into an argument. We can certainly have a discussion. The only thing I don't allow is if you're going to make, call me names. This doesn't work. The science doesn't really care about that. I get enough of that just on my normal TikTok account where they all come on and he's obviously doesn't know what he's telling. He won't tell us. He won't give us all the details. Well, because this is really complicated. What do you think? It took them 40 years to figure this out. You think it's a simple thing like a new recipe or a new exercise program or 10,000 steps or anything? None of that works long term. You're all just kidding yourselves if you think any of those programs work, because they don't work. Not because I say so, because the evidence is overwhelming. If we're looking at in 4.5 years, if 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese, do any of you think that diets work long term? Really? I don't know. So Foxman 123, hello. Susan, hello. Wow, we're at 2,700 likes. Can we get some more likes? So Talk Treasures or Cat or would any of you like to ask me a question, or do you feel comfortable that I've answered your questions? I've explained how they did it and that you can go and see the free medical proof at the New Health Conversation right above the title there for the women's magazine. It's a free website to go to and there's nothing, we won't contact you if you go there. But if you go there and you want a coach, scroll down and the coaching's free. We got coached. There's no way to do this without coaching because there is some complication to it. And how you do it is probably more important than what you're going to be eating, because it's a whole new way of consuming food. It's based on serving sizes, not based on calories. It's based on very specific timing of when you eat, how much you eat, what you eat in what particular order. Tanisha. Are you sure, Tanisha? I'm not questioning you. I remember that name. It's a very unique name. Let me go and look when we hang up. All right, Tanisha, I'll tell you what. Go again if you can. As soon as we get off this, I will personally go to the site. I don't normally monitor that. Okay, other people are doing that for me. And why you fell through the cracks. Checked my junk as well. I believe you, Tanisha. Yeah, so go fill it out again, send it, and I promise I'll before I leave the office, because I'm going to leave in about an hour. No, a little bit less than an hour. I will check and make sure that I will personally make sure you get a coach, okay, and get you followed up on. Beautiful. So Tanisha, are you even more curious than you were before? I'm just curious because you came back, obviously, even though no one followed up with you. So I'm very encouraged, excited about this. And Tanisha, when you came on before, had the magazine, had the article been published yet? I'm curious. The Women's World, which just came out on Friday, the 6th. So I'm not sure when you had signed up and if we had even talked about that yet, because obviously that's a really, really big deal for the magazine. I need change. I'm only listening to your live. Wow. Okay. All right. Even more importantly, Tanisha, we will 1,000,000% we're going to get you a coach. Okay. Can I ask you, Tanisha, if you don't mind, how much weight would you like to lose? Well, we got more people. Oh, 3,000 likes, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Talk treasures. Oh, you're all so kind. You're all so nice. Look, we're here for all of you to do what? To educate you. We're not here to convince you. We're not here to, okay. So how excited would you be if you could do this in the first 30 days? Tanisha. With 20 pounds in 30 days, would that get you pretty motivated? I think I know what the answer is, but put it in the chat. And you understand this is live. You get it, right? I mean, this isn't pre-recorded. Love that. With 4 E's. That's great. Oh, we gotta get you. But are you sort of like sick and tired of just being sick and tired from the standpoint, the weight, no matter what you do, nothing's ever worked, you can't get rid of it? Is that a fair statement, Tanisha? And one of the reasons maybe you're really fascinated and interested in this particular protocol is because, yes, very much, right, right. Look, for all of you, you've got to understand, you have a chance to change the rest of your lives by, Tanisha, I'm sorry we didn't get back to you, but part of it is we do have a lot of people that are responding now, and there's no excuse. And I'm responsible because I'm the head of the New Health Conversation, so I got to make sure that everybody gets contacted, okay? So who else would like to ask? 3,000 likes. Wow, 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 wow. You're all busy. Keep tapping on that screen. You've increased like almost 1,500 in the last 30 minutes, right? But aren't you all really seeking health? Isn't that really what you're looking for? Am I wrong? Is there anybody on here that's not looking to improve or maximize what I call their quality of life potential? And you're settling for a less than lifestyle? I'm not trying to be derogatory, so don't take it that way. But you have to understand that what you're doing by counting calories is dead. It doesn't work. It won't work. It can't work. And yet you all have the opportunity to go to that website, the New Health Conversation, for free and see the medical proof. Why wouldn't you do that? And we won't contact you if you go there. And you can see right above, free coaching to ensure your success. Free coaching. I mean, you tell me if you think that this is something you want to at least investigate. Why wouldn't you at least go and look at you think we're going to contact you? You think I'm lying to you? Obviously, based on what Tanisha is saying, we don't have time to do that. We're busy enough trying to coach people. And no one does this without getting a coach. That's part of the thing. And the coaching is 100% free. Only thing, you're buying nothing from us. You're buying nothing from the researchers. 30% of your food you're going to buy from the grocery store, and the other 70% from these exotic foods around the world. It's that simple. So who else would like to ask me a question? So who else would like to ask me a question? So Victoria from my posts. Good. So who else would like to ask me a question? Does anybody have any questions? I mean, let's walk through some of the before and afters. So Kristen lost 21.2 pounds and 38.75 inches in 30 days with no exercise. Look at day 1, look at her waist area, and then day 30, look at her hips and waist area. It's not Photoshop, that's real, with no exercise allowed. Everybody see that? How to lose belly fat. Yeah, well, do you see it there? So Foxman, look at that. The program is free to join. All your twin fish, here's the thing. 30% of the food you would buy, you buy from your grocery store, okay? So you're not buying the amount of food you bought last month from your grocery store, only 30%, right? The other 70% comes from these exotic foods around the world that you buy directly from them, not from us. So you're buying directly from the suppliers. Most people feel that they're spending about the same, maybe a little bit more than what they spent last month on a total food budget. Again, let me explain it to you. 30% from the grocery store, 70% from these exotic foods around the world. And like I said right there in the beginning, take a look. That's a free medical website to go to. You get to see all the medical proof. If you like it, scroll down. And the coaching is free. Twin fish, free. And most people feel they're spending about what they spend in a month now in food, but look at the results. I mean, let's look at the man here, everybody. Talk about belly fat, Foxman. Look at his stomach. That's 30 days with no sit-ups, no intervention at all. And look, he's an older guy. And look at that. Foxman, how about 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month? Can you even believe it's real, or do you think we made it up? I know you don't think we made it up. Maybe you do. But we don't have to. Why would we have to make up things when we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies proving, what he did? So Foxman, did you hear the explanation of how they did what they're doing? Or Twin Fish, did either one of you hear the explanation? Because otherwise, I'm going to go through it. I want you to understand exactly how they did, what they did, why it's not a diet, and why it's so unique, and why you may want to go to the website and see the medical proof behind what I'm going to share with you if you didn't hear it. So I need to know from either one of you, Foxman or Twin Fish, did you hear the explanation of exactly what they did? I know I talked about it in terms of the woman, Kristen, who lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days. But it's really important that you understand. No, you didn't hear it. Okay, Foxman. Twin Fish, what about you? I'm going to go ahead and explain it anyway. Okay, so Foxman, the first thing you need to understand is why diets fail. It has nothing to do with counting calories. Our body works on only one principle, and it's not counting calories. The only thing your body cares about is not calories, is nutrition. What happens to us, we have a minimum amount of nutrition, call it energy requirement, to run all the organs, the brain, the kidney, liver, heart, etc. Hopefully that makes sense to you. When you go on a diet, it has nothing to do with counting calories. It has to do with the quantity of nutrition that you have. So you go on a diet, you reduce the amount of food, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. When the brain senses not enough nutrition, it goes in panic mode, shuts down the access to fuel in your fat cells, and turns to your muscles for fuel. That's why people end up with all that loose skin, because the only thing they're losing on a diet is their lean muscle mass. Up to 40% of what the pounds they lose is lean muscle mass. So the researchers said, wait a minute. They've done 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet out there using, organic food from North America. So they said, wait a minute, we got this wrong. We need to concentrate only on not the minimum amount of nutrition, but giving people way more nutrition than they've ever gotten before, but still keep the quantities low. So they developed a food list that she got. Only 30% of the food she ate in a month came from her grocery store. And she got a list, and you'd get a list of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vegetables, and fruit. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, we give you, not us, but they did, serving sizes. So like how many ounces of protein, how many cups of carbohydrates, etc., all laid out. There's no guesswork. But that was only 30% of what she bought and consumed. The other 70% came from these exotic food groups around the world, from places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So now they had the ingredients. Foxman, you got it? And Twin Fish, you got it? But as you know, in cooking, you can have ingredients, but if you don't have a recipe, what are you going to make? So then they created two completely new ways of consuming food. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Starting breakfast, these exotic foods around the world. That was meal number 1. Meal number 2, lunch from the grocery store. Meal number 3, from the grocery store, dinner. And a 4th meal after dinner. Now, don't give me this about skipping meals. Don't even do it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Unless you're coachable, don't waste your time and effort and money, okay? It's ridiculous. Now, I know there's some pushback when people hear you're going to have 4 meals a day. How can you possibly lose weight? Well, there's your proof. Now, that was 5 days a week. 2 days a week, this will spin all of you. What did she do? She did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time she was eating them 8 times a day. She was eating literally every hour and a half. Now that sounds crazy to you, I understand, but it has nothing to do with the amount of the food or the calorie count, because it's not about counting calories. And again, look at the results. And by the way, that picture's 8 years old. She's kept it off for 8 years. So I'd love for either one of you to comment. Does that make sense to both of you, to Foxman and Twin Fish and anybody else? And let me just show you some of the other pictures. I didn't show you Andy's picture, guys. I'm going to show it to you now. So Andy lost 45 pounds, 60 inches in 30 days. But look at his blood work, his A1C 7.96.2. Look at his bad cholesterol, from 120 to 59 in 30 days. And I showed you Curtis a minute ago, 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. You think this works? Look at his stomach. That's without any sit-ups. That's without any extra. He gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. They measured lean muscle mass. I just told you that every other diet out there, you're losing 25 to 40% of what you're losing is your lean muscle mass, which slows your metabolism down. He increased his lean muscle, which did what? Boosted his metabolism. It's pretty cool. I know you all can think we faked it, it's not real, it's whatever, but it is real. Because again, it's backed by 10, I got them right here, 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that if you go to the website, so I'm curious, why is the food coming from the other countries around the world? Oh, twin fish, great question. Because our food in this country is all but nutritionally bankrupt. And the researchers had used organic food in this country for 40 years. And they always wondered, why did people lose weight initially and then they ended up gaining, 2/3 ended up weighing more than they did before? I'll give you an idea of some of the things, what's happened. We've created these huge mountains of food. As we've done that through, herbicides and pesticides and phosphates and nitrates, yeah, we've increased the yields. But at the same time, we're not rotating the soil anymore. So what's happening is the amount of nutrition in our food continues to crash. I'll give you an example, twin fish. Spinach, which, Popeye's food, we all say, oh, that's really nutritious. Well, Cornell University did a study on the iron levels in spinach from 1953 to today, and those iron levels have decreased, you ready for this, twin fish, by 4,300%. Now maybe you get the idea where they'd gone around the world to find foods that had huge amounts of nutrition, no herbicides, no pesticides, no phosphates, no nitrates, just naturally occurring with these huge amounts of nutrition. That's why this worked. They did 40 years of studies the other way using the best organic food they could find in North America. It never worked long term until now. Because they recognized the problem was when we put people on diets and reduced the amount of food, the food already had less nutrition. So now you just made it worse. Twin fish, does that make sense? S101, I'm going to explain it to you in a moment. You missed the explanation. But let me finish with the gentleman that I was just talking to there. So twin fish, does that make sense? Hope it does. Okay, so let me come to you, S101. So, by the way, you see he lost 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days, okay, with no exercise allowed, and he's an older guy. So the researchers that created this, and by the way, just to let you know, yes, that makes sense. My sister who has celiac can go other countries and eat the food. Yeah, there you go, twin fish. So S101. This is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Nothing I'm sharing with you is my opinion. I didn't invent this. We're just reporting on it. We're nutritional researchers, right? So what the researchers figured out was the reason that diets didn't work was pretty simple. That counting calories is the most ridiculous thing anybody's ever done because the human body has no idea what a calorie even is. What they realized that all diets, at the end of the day, well, back up. Our bodies run not on calories, don't care about calories, don't count calories. Our bodies run on a minimum amount of nutrition that powers the fuel for the brain, the kidney, the liver, the heart, etc. When people are going on diets, they're reducing the amount of food they're consuming. Well, at the same time, what they've never told you is you're reducing nutrition. When that happens, as the brain figures that, it goes in starvation mode, prevents you from accessing the fuel in your fat cells, and turns to your muscles for fuel. And then the body has to slow down your metabolism. It's not up for debate, that's what's happening. But in addition, by losing lean muscle mass, even worse, you also slow down your own immune system. So you're making yourself unbelievably unhealthy by going on these diets. Yes, you're losing weight, but up to 40% is your lean muscle mass. I got study after study after study proving that. I don't make things up. Now, so the researchers said we need to change this up. Can we go find foods, forget calorie counts, the only thing that would matter is what's the nutritional value, how much nutrition is in the foods. So they put together 30% of the food he consumed in a month came from the grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving him calorie counts, they gave him serving sizes. But only 30% of the food came from North America from organic food sources. The other 70% came from foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, from Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition, but in very small amounts of food from a bulk standpoint of view. Got it? Okay, then what they did, then they created 2 new ways of consuming those foods. 5 days a week, he consumed 4 meals a day. He started with his exotic foods around the world. Meal 1, no food from the grocery store. Second meal, lunch, grocery store food. Third meal, dinner, grocery store. And a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. So 5 days a week, he had 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing. It's actually patented by the researchers. Let me clarify 2 other things. The researchers don't have anything to sell. They don't have a company. There's no products here. This is food. We don't sell you anything. So you buy directly from the grocery store, you get a list, and then the coaches show you, because the coaching on this is free, they show you how to order from these other sources around the world. Okay, so 5 days a week, 4 meals, and then 2 days a week, you're having these exotic foods 8 times a day. Now, the key to this, believe it or not, is not the fact to lose the weight. That's a given. We know that's a joke. I mean, not a joke in terms of we can do that, no problem. The key to this is maintenance. So that picture you're looking at there is about 8 years old. He's kept the weight up for 8 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I kept it up for 23 years. Now, the key is maintenance. Now, what's maintenance looks like? Every morning I have my breakfast is exotic foods around the world. I have a lunch and a dinner, and then once every couple months I do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Now, why do I want to do that? Because you and me all have this syndrome now called TDOS. You have it. You do. Not a question. So T is for toxins, D is for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office of a new medical condition. Yes, I did discover it, but that's not what's important. What's important is we now know that what we're doing, we're breathing, we're drinking, we're eating chemicals. As they enter our body, first the body presents the chemicals to the liver. We now have about 30% of the population with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, not from drinking alcohol, because the toxins are so overburdening the liver that it's enrobing the chemicals inside of fat cells. Got that part? So the key was that they needed, the body then is out of options. Not really. The body then, the next option is to take the chemical and stuff it inside our visceral fat, primarily obviously around the abdomen. That's why you're seeing his stomach go down so much. Because what the body does with those chemicals is it pushes them inside the visceral fat, that's the fat around your organs, the fat cells expand. See, anybody telling you burn fat is it's a total fabrication. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells. No amount of diet, exercise, whatever reduces fat cells in your body. Your fat cells can shrink or they can expand. If you look at his stomach on day one, that's the expansion of the chemicals. You know, when they talked about beer bellies, they never really realized it was a toxic belly that they're showing. So look at that in 30 days. Look at how much his stomach went down. That's with no sit-ups, anything. But 40 pounds in a month, 52 inches, and look at his blood work. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides from 242 to 124. Okay, so that was fast. I know S101. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions about that? Yes, you're right. Natural ingredients making food, that's it. But S101, you understand with your best intentions, the organic food in this country is still woefully short of nutrients. That's why the researchers who invented this, they didn't find these food groups. These other researchers had done over 20 years. They physically had gone to Russia and to areas where people living to be 100 years old and didn't get sick. So those were some of the nutrients that is in this, they're not available in North America. In other words, it's not in our soil. So this is not just that it's massive amounts of nutrients, it's nutrients that don't even exist in North America. That's why the results you're seeing there have never been seen before in 40 years of research. I mean, one of the things they measured S101 was inflammation, and maybe you're familiar with it, maybe you're not, but inflammation now is the underlying cause of every disease known to man. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, making a medical proclamation, but we can refer to the studies. In the studies, they measured inflammation for the first time ever on any study ever. It came down 25% in a month. People's hunger came down 41% in 30 days. People's blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all came down dramatically just in 30 days. And you all can go and see the medical proof for sure for free. You see it right above the article there in blue, the new health conversation. And if you go there, we won't contact you. What? No, we don't contact anybody going there. No. Because we want you to have the freedom to go look at the medical proof. Then, if you like what you see, scroll down, you get a free coach. No one's doing this without a coach, and we coach you for free because someone coached us. I don't know if you all saw the movie Pay It Forward. That's what we're doing. We're paying it forward. We need to do something, everybody. We have, I mean, John S101, John Hopkins Medical School just came out with the study. I have it here somewhere, I think, where they said that, oh, here it is right here. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. Does that sound to you like S101, that diets are working, counting calories? It's the most ridiculous thing on the planet. I've been on here now for 2.5 hours, and I've asked 3 or 4 times, please, anybody, give me the definition of a calorie. People are counting calories. They don't even know what it is. We're brainwashed. We are brainwashed being told that calories in, calories out works. Go to the mall today and see if you think calories work. I mean, it's just the most ridiculous thing. Does it help someone with thyroid? Oh, I didn't even tell you that. Okay, S101. We have people with no thyroids, with hypothyroidism, with goiter, you name it. But imagine no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. We have people with kidney transplants, and we're not treating, diagnosing any. Oh my gosh, with thyroid, oh my gosh, unbelievable help. Because obviously thyroid is one of the filters in the body, right? And if your thyroid is messed up, then it also impacts your own detoxification capabilities within your body. I'm not sure what type of a thyroid. Yes, we're brainwashed. Every woman now going on Mounjaro, right? Oh, can I read to you about your permission? Let me read to you about semaglutide. There's Mounjaro, there's Ozempic, but semaglutide is one of the GLP-1s. Can I share that with you, S101? This is the New England Journal of Medicine. I encourage you to go look it up, S101. It's called Once Weekly Semaglutide in Adults with Overweight or Obese, okay? So I'm going to contrast this for you. Let me put her picture up. This is real. That's not Photoshop. She really lost 21 pounds to 38 inches in a month. Now, here's the study. New England Journal of Medicine, 68, S101, 68 weeks, a year and 4 months. After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. And they went on to say, this is clinically relevant reductions in body weight. 32 pounds in 68 weeks, and that's relevant? I guess, Kristen, do you think she got the memo, S101? I mean, do you think she would trade doing the shot for what she did? And here's the one it'll shock you. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. Look at that S101. 60 pounds in 3 months. 60. Tell me what you think about that. Yes, Nikki, curious. It is sad. Yes, sure. ESP on thyroid. Yes, sure. I'm sorry. What do you mean I'm not sure. ESP. What are we talking about? Yes. Anyway, yeah, so we've got tons of people that were on Synthroid, they're on Armour. A lot of them, again, with the help of the doctors, a lot of them have been able to reduce or eliminate their medication even. But imagine no thyroids losing weight. I don't have to tell you how difficult, all those, mostly women, they couldn't lose any weight at all. They were gaining weight. They were terrified. They didn't know what to do. They were exercising. They were going to the gym. They were sitting in saunas. They were doing everything. It's a miracle. So does that make sense to you, S101, about the Mounjaro? And I'm not quite sure you share ESP on thyroid. What's ESP? Maybe it's not registered in my brain. I got too much data in my brain, everybody. I have data brain. Is that a real thing? I don't know. It's okay. What to do? Okay, you're for fun. What to do? Okay. So again, I'm going to explain to Yuri for fun. Now, how did she lose 60 pounds in 3 months? Let's go to a shorter version. This is more likely. She lost 21 pounds in 30 days. Okay, it's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. Okay, you got that so far? You ready for fun? So here's what they did. The researchers who invented this have no products to sell. There are no products here. This is food. Here's the thing why diets don't work and why we have 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic today. Calorie counting is the most ridiculous thing ever because your body has no idea what a calorie is. Our body works this way. You have a certain amount, not of calories, of nutrition that you need in order to run all your organs, your brain, kidney, liver, heart, etc. So far you're for fun. Does it make sense? What happens when you go on a diet, the researchers realize you lower the amount of food you're consuming. What else are you lowering? Nutrition. When your brain figures out you have less nutrition, it goes in starvation mode and prevents you from accessing the fuel in your fat cells and turns to your muscles for fuel. As your body begins to use your muscles for fuel, the brain reacts by slowing down your metabolism. That's why you lose weight initially on these diets in the short term. Then it goes to a trickle, then you plateau, then you come off the diets and you gain everything back. Got it so far? I'm painting a picture for you. The researchers said we need to change this. They wanted to go, can we find foods that have huge amounts of nutrition but small quantities of food? So they put together a food list for her and everybody else that's doing this. It was made up of, at your grocery store, organic food, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, they gave you serving sizes because they were only concerned about the amount of nutrition in those foods that they picked. I'll give you an example. Like if you're going to do steak or hamburger, it has to be grass-fed and finished, not just grass-fed, okay? If they're carbohydrates, they have to be complex carbohydrates. You may or may not know what those are. It's all laid out for you. You don't have to guess. But only 30% of the money she spent was in the grocery store, what you'd spend, okay? The other 70% comes from foods that don't come from North America. They come from Russia, from Mongolia, from Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represent huge amounts of nutrition, but very small quantities of food. And they come from areas, some of the nutrients from areas where people live to be 100 years old and they don't get sick. That's interesting to me. Okay, so let's review. 30% of what you would buy, you'd buy from your grocery store, and 70% you buy directly from these suppliers who supply these exotic foods to the researchers. The researchers have no products to sell. They don't have a company. We don't sell you anything. But you get free coaching. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Okay? So they now had the foods, right? 30% from the grocery store list, 70% from the foods around the world, and then this is what they did. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods for breakfast. That was breakfast, meal number 1. Meal number 2 was lunch from the grocery store list. Meal number 3, dinner from the grocery list, and a 4th meal, the exotic foods at the end of the day. So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. Don't think you can skip a meal. It has nothing to do with it. It's not a diet. This is a completely new way. That, what I just explained to you, the 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, is called protein pacing. So let me pause for a moment. One of the things the researchers proved that it wasn't just the amount of food you ate in a day. It was the quantities you ate at what specific time. So timing was very important. That's why it's called protein pacing. You know, like if you've ever been in a race, like a marathon, you want to pace yourself. The body works the same way. So to load your body up with a lot of food, like some people go the whole day and then have dinner, it's the worst thing you could ever do. Your body can't handle it, doesn't know what to do. So this is a new approach. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Don't get nervous. It's not fasting. It's not water fasting. It's not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, she got to eat, wait till you hear this, 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. And she was eating only these nutrients and foods from around the world that represent small amounts of quantity of the food itself, but huge amounts of nutrition. That's what made this work. Now, let me give you an extreme example that'll make sense. So when you're using regular food, even if it's organic, it'd be like you go into the gas station today and they only have 2 gas pumps. Pump number 1 is organic food, and the sign says this gallon will take you 20 miles. Pump number 2 says this gallon will take you 100 miles. That's what the researchers did in putting these food combinations together. Now, the key to this is not that you can lose the weight. The key, like that picture's 8 years old. She's kept it off for 8 years. The key for all of you doing this is maintenance. The key for all of you doing this is your ability to maintain that. And the coaches will show you. Now, how do you get a coach for free? It's right here, right above the magazine article, which just came out on Friday, by the way. And Women's World, for those who don't know, is the #1 women's magazine in the world. Okay? To be on the cover. And look what they're saying, over 50 protein miracle. They're endorsing this, okay? That's wonderful. But if you go to the website, you can see it right there, The New Health Conversation. We're not going to contact you. What? No, we don't do that. Why? Because we want you to have the peace and quiet to look at the medical proof for yourself. And if you like what you see, then you can scroll down and you get a free coach. The coaching's free the whole time. How much is the consultation? Free. How much is the coaching? Free. We got coached. I don't know if all of you saw the movie Pay It Forward. I'd suggest you watch that movie and you'll understand what our motivation is. For many of us, it really basically saved our lives, increased our, the main reason to do it is not to lose weight. The main reason to do it is to maximize. Do you know what they found in a month's time? Hunger came down 41% for people. 41% in a month. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all came down in a month. And for the first time ever, inflammation, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there, it came down in a month by 41%. This is not a diet. This is like nothing you've ever done before. And I urge all of you to go to the website and see. Nikki, great. You don't have to join anything, Nikki, okay? No, you didn't listen to me. It's not intermittent fasting, S101. You didn't listen. Not your fault, or maybe I misspoke, okay? I apologize. Intermittent nutritional fasting. Do you get that? It's nutritional fasting. It's not intermittent fasting that your last meal is, you don't eat from 8 o'clock at night until noon the next day. That's been completely debunked. This is intermittent nutritional fasting. So just to clarify for you, okay? And no, every meal is not protein. Again, you have proteins, you have fats, you have carbohydrates, you have vegetables, you have fruits. Okay, so no, not every protein is part of what. But again, they were constructing the world's most perfect meal, not with regular food from the grocery store, but from these elements from around the world. Does that make sense? So no, I misspoke. If you think it's protein only, no, this has nothing to do with that. Even though I know on the women's magazine it says the over 50 protein miracle. That's a little misleading because protein is part of it, but it's only part of it. Okay, so it's completely different. It's based on giving your body this wide range of nutrition that the body uses in these timelines. See, the timing of this is as important as what you're going to be consuming, just to let you know. Okay? So who else would like to ask me a question? Oh, so Nikki Creary Mullings, did you, in essence, let me ask you a question. Did you hear my explanation of what they did? If you didn't, I'm happy to do it for you. And there's nothing to join, by the way. That website is free to go to. We won't contact you. The movement is free. It's called the New Health Conversation. And people really are, we're getting people now from all over the world. It's just really, I'm so darned encouraging. Because it's a worldwide crisis. Yesterday I had people in Germany, I had people in Norway, I had people in the UK, I got people in New Zealand and Australia and around the world. But it's not everywhere. It doesn't go everywhere in the world. There's places where you can't get it. Nothing I can do about that. Like South America, like Costa Rica or Colombia. It's in Mexico, and I think I know it's in New Zealand. I know it's in Australia. I don't know. The coaches can go over that with you. That's above my pay grade. They'll go over any of those questions with. Oh, okay. So Nikki, I want you to give me a yes, Nikki. So I'm sure you go to the New Health Conversation. Give me a yes. I'm not ordering you. I'm just asking if you understand. Oh my gosh. Yes, I did. Thank you. Okay. So again, I'm asking another question, Nikki. When you go there, we will not contact you. Do you understand that? Give me another yes. Oh, I'm getting punch drunk. I've been on this for almost 3 hours now, and I was here at 4. I get up at 4 this morning. So, all right. Yes. Okay. Last part. If you like what you see, you scroll down and you get a free coach. Give me a yes. And the coaching is free the whole time. Well, that's why you get a coach. Yuri, for fun. The coaches they'll guide you and they'll give you what they use. Well, if you watch the videos already, you saw I went through this for you, the blueprint for success. Did you not see that? Yuri, for fun. Did you not see this? Because this is exactly what the researchers did. And I know I think I did a 20-minute explanation of this, but that's again why you need a coach. Does that make sense? No. Yes, I got it. Okay, Nick, you got it. Not yet, sir. Oh, okay. No, I'm not sir. Just call me Peter, all of you, right? I'm a nutritional researcher for 23 years, and I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve all of you. This saved my life 23 years ago when I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, and I kept it off for 23 years. So I want to make sure, Yuri, for fun, when you go to the website, after you've looked at everything, scroll down, and then you get a coach for free. Yuri, put a yes if you understand that. Do you understand? The coaching is totally free. They'll answer all your questions. Merci. Okay. Are you French? Because I got somebody in Paris yesterday. Or maybe you're from Canada. You could be from Quebec too, right? Yes, you're from Paris. Just tell me you're from Paris. Oh my God, I love that city. It's the most beautiful city in the world. Oh my gosh. Oh, big. We have all kinds of people with no gallbladders. And you didn't hear me talk about that, Nikki. So we have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. We have people with kidney transplants. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, making medical proclamations, but they're all thriving doing this. So yes, yes. So we go to the New Health Conversation and fill in the form. So Nikki, but tell me, are you in Paris, as in Paris in France? Tell me. I'm like a little kid. Okay, I'll do the forms. But Nikki, more importantly, are you in Paris, France? Oh, I'm in the UK. Okay. But are you from Paris, or you're just French and you speak French? I don't know. But it doesn't matter. I'm not going to change my thing. Although I love the UK too. I went there 25 years ago. I was there every month for 10 days, and I, I learned how to drink warm beer, and I ran in Kensington Park, and what a beautiful country that is as well. But we're very big in the UK, so Nikki, there's no problem with getting the foods from around the world, et cetera. It's all good. Oh, my family's from Jamaica. Oh, that's why you speak French. I see. Okay, well, that's even more exciting. Another beautiful place. Man, you have really been around the block. That's cool. Oh, okay. So who else would like to ask me a question? Well, let me show you some more before and afters, everybody, as long as we're waiting for someone else to ask me a question. So none of these are Photoshopped. These are all part of the. So Kristen lost 21.2 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days. And Julie here, this is even more amazing. She lost 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at that. So Nikki, look at that picture. What do you think? 35 pounds in 37 days. Do you think it's the same woman, Nikki? Do you think it's the same woman? Oh, we're getting lots of likes now. We're at 4,600. Come on, let's keep. Anna If. I'm not sure what Anna If is. Do you think it's the same person, everybody? And this one, I know most people think we photoshopped it. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. April lost 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her stomach. Yeah, isn't that, Nikki? Is that just amazing? Nikki, do you think that's the same woman? I appreciate anybody can comment. I'm just curious. Do you think I understand it's so dramatic. Isn't it difficult to believe it is the same person? Is that just crazy? And then for men, look at Curtis, everybody. 40.8 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. Look at his stomach. That's with no exercise. And that it's from 8. Yeah, exactly. They're completely different, but same because of the weight loss. Yes. It is the same woman, by the way, just to let you know, Nikki. It is. Just like that's the same guy. So let's go back to April for a moment. So part of what's a little deceptive is her hair is different, and she's in 2 different rooms. So she, it says, oh, well, she's taller. Well, the room on the right, you can see the ceiling. You can see there's a smoke detector up there, and on the left, you can tell it's a completely different room. So it's a lower. When those 2 pictures were taken, they weren't on the same plane, but it absolutely is the same person. The same person. You think her, and that she's kept it off now for 8 years. Isn't that just exciting for all of you? Wow, we're at 4,600. Come on, let's keep going. I know we can get to 5,000. Wow, I can't believe I've been on for 2 hours and 46 minutes, and we still have new people coming on from all over the world commenting. So, Nikki, it is, let me guess, it's 4:12 in the afternoon about your time, correct? I think you're 7 hours ahead of me. I'm in Denver, Colorado. Am I right? Is it 3:12 over there? Oh, 7 hours. No, it'd be 4:12, sorry. 3 to noon, yeah. I think it's 4:12. Yes, okay, great. So Nikki, do you have any other questions for me, or do you think you pretty much understand? 4:12, so I was right. Okay, great. Great, great, great. 5:12 in Spain. Oh, none forever. You're in Spain? Welcome. We definitely have people in Madrid now doing it. And no, once you fill out the form, you're going to get a coach. You may get called today. I can't, it would be no later than tomorrow because it depends on how busy the coaches are. But I'm happy to, yeah, just fill out the form and they'll contact you. You don't have to do anything. Were you able to, S101, were you able to find the website okay? And did you see it? And did you get a chance, for example, look at some of those before and afters where some of those people lost 100 pounds and they have no loose skin? Was that amazing? Did you get to see that, S101? So none forever in Spain, 5:12 in the afternoon. I've always heard Spain's so beautiful. And we have a couple of, I don't coach all the people, I just hear from my coaches that we got people all over the world, et cetera. Now, are you fluent in English? Because we also have coaches that are fluent in Spanish. So I just need to know if you did go to the website and fill out at the bottom, it can talk about it and say, I'd like to have someone who is fluent in Spanish. Yeah, S101 saying amazing results. So none forever. Are you fluent in English, or would you prefer you had someone that was fluent in Spanish? Either way, we have coaches that are, we have coaches now all over the world that are coaching people in foreign languages and whatever. It's just, it's amazing what's going on. Yeah, S101, isn't it? I mean, isn't it almost like science fiction when you look at some of those pictures? And also, did you see some of the athletes or some of the transformations of people that weren't athletes into athletes in just a really short period of time? So none forever. Yeah, you don't have to answer, but I just want to let you know, I want to offer that to you, that we definitely have people that are fluent in Spanish if that's easier for you. Who else would like to ask me a question? Now, for some of you, I want to show, if there are some athletes here maybe, and you don't think you need to lose weight, you want to gain weight. Where do you see this? That is exactly 11 days, everyone. The picture on day 1 is pretty good. But look at 4 days later, the morning of, when it says day 5, that's the morning of day 5, not the night. Look at that change in the stomach, abdomen. And then look at day 11, it's the morning of day 12. Look at that transformation in the body. Now, do you understand why it's not a diet, it's a detox? I mean, look at that. That's not photoshopped. And you can think, oh, it's photoshopped, it's AI, it's not real, he's making it up. Well, in this case, that's my youngest son. He's 40 years old. Look at that. Huh? Everybody, what do you think? From day 1 to day 12, well, it's 11 days actually. I'd love for anybody to comment on that. Is that just insane, crazy? Good? In a good way? Yeah, amazing. Everybody's saying amazing. That's exactly right. But I want you all to understand, it's not a diet. It doesn't work like that. I mean, it's almost like we should tell you that weight loss is like the least important thing. It's about the medical benefits and the creation of lean muscle mass in your body. That's one thing you did see, S101. You saw the change in their body composition, right? It was insane, just crazy, those before and after pictures. Which S01 is talking about, everybody, is the website right above the magazine article, the New Health Conversation. Hopefully you all can see that. That's a free medical website to go there. No one will call you. You get to look at everything. If you like what you see, scroll down and you get a free coach. The coaching's free, everybody. I get people all the time. I just said to someone, how much is the program? No. How much is to join? There's nothing to join. Well, by default, you can be part of the New Health Conversation. Like-minded people that are trying to make a difference in their families, or maybe their workplace, or maybe their churches, or whatever, because this is a worldwide crisis, a worldwide epidemic that we're facing. That website is free to the world. You can recommend any of your friends anywhere in the world. They can go to that website and see the medical proof. Let me show all of you while we're waiting here for more people to come on and ask me questions. Here's the actual website, everybody. That's all that's there. And the 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are all instructional videos, including number 1 is an interview with the number 1 weight loss research physiologist in the world. Number 3 are the actual medical studies. You literally can learn more, click on that, and it takes you to the studies. There they are. And 4, that's what S101 is referring to. Those before and after pictures are insane. As a matter of fact, I think if I probably showed them on social media, they'd think I was making things up, which I'm not. So, everyone. So this magazine, Women's World, the number 1 women's magazine in the world, they're effectively endorsing this. The reason that the researchers got in there was because of their research. Because the researchers don't have any products. They don't sell anything. This isn't a product. It's food in completely new ways of consuming food that were constructed or figured out by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. Isn't that just the coolest thing ever? Oh, S101, you're so lucky. How is it free 7 through 0? Did you hear the full explanation? I'm not saying you did. I need to know, because I did explain the coaching is 100% free. You're buying a month's worth of food, 30% from your grocery store, not from us, not from the researchers, okay? You're buying that food, only 30% of what you bought last month, let's say. The other 70% you buy directly from the suppliers who supplied these exotic foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to the researchers. Most people feel that 30% of what they purchase from their grocery store allows them the other 70% they're not spending at the grocery store, almost pretty much pays for these nutrients. And that's what they used in these studies. Oh, Veronica, you're very, very welcome. I'm very, but Veronica, I really, and even more, go to that website, the New Health Conversation. Veronica, can I ask you a question if you don't mind, or any of you? But on all the other social media sites where you've seen people talking about weight loss and health and all that, have you ever seen any of those, Veronica, with medical studies? I'm really curious. Yes, exactly. S101, you are what you eat, which would answer the question to 730. So the catch is you have to eat. You're buying food for a month. No, but I'm just saying, Veronica, no, I have not. So what I asked Veronica, and I would ask 730 or anybody, S101 or anybody, is anybody that you have seen on social media, across all the social media platforms promoting, weight loss, workouts, health, that has one shred of medical evidence, one study. I've never seen it. And we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, not done by us, but by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. But if you want these kind of results, so for example, oh, good, Veronica. You agree with what I'm saying? So, Veronica, if you haven't, give me a yes. Do you understand, Veronica, that website, the New Health Conversation, is 100% free to go to, and we will not contact you. Please give me a yes. I want to make sure you understand that, so somehow you're not put off by the fact if you go to that website, we're going to contact you, because we're not. Okay, yes. So if you do go there, Veronica, and you like what you see, you understand, you can scroll down and get a free coach. And the coaching is free the whole time. I get a yes on that as well, Veronica? Give me another yes, please. Now back to back to 730. So understand that this. Oh, wonderful, Veronica. So let me explain something to you. 730. 30% of the food. First of all, you're buying a month's worth of food. There's no products here. Let's start with that. So 30% of what you'd purchase, and you get a food list from your coaches for free. You go to your grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. The other 70% of the food you would be purchasing, those suppliers, 730, they will give you a 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days. I'm not kidding you. It's not from us because we don't sell you anything. That's how confident they are it's going to work. And I would say this, nothing is 100%. But it's so rare when anybody wants a refund. I mean, can you imagine? You think that she wants a refund after losing 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days? 730, have you ever seen anything like that? Or Curtis, look at this. 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. 40 pounds, that's 10 pounds a week. It's not Photoshopped, and it's safe. Because why? Because it's backed by these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies where they did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, muscle analysis. So instead of people losing lean muscle, and they weren't allowed to exercise. No one exercised. They gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass because of these massive amounts of nutrition. That's the secret to the whole thing. But it's a little bit complicated, right? So what you would get 730 if you do it, like Veronica, you get the same thing. This is what they used in the medical studies to teach the people going through it, the patients, exactly what to do. So those yellows you see in there, they're actually daily videos that explain exactly what they're doing, when they're doing, how much they're eating, et cetera, if that makes sense. So the bottom line here is that you all have an incredible opportunity to go see the medical proof for yourself. We won't contact you. Pretty much everything is there for you to see. So you don't have to get a coach to see the medical proof. We want you to see the medical proof first, and then you decide if you want to get a free coach. And the coaching is free the whole time, not just initially to lose the weight, but to teach you how to keep it off. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what should excite you. That's what should make you really curious. Let me say that, right? Curious. So who else would like to ask me a question? Oh, we're at 5,000 likes. Thank you very, very much, everybody. We're getting lots of good feedback. Who else would like to ask me a question about this? Most people, like when they see this even, they're completely blown away. How in the heck did she lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days? How is that even possible? So again, I'd love for anybody, who else would like to ask me questions? This is live, it's not recorded, it's not an infomercial, it's a medical podcast. that's going all over the world apparently, which is really, really great. So who else would like to ask me a question? Who hasn't asked me a question? Do I have to buy the magazine to send the article? Can you? I don't know. That's a great question, Dan. I'm not sure. You know who you could ask? Probably ask Cindy. I'm almost sure. Wait a minute, Dan. I thought I sent you the magazine cover in an email. Did I not? Everyone, that's one of our coaches, by the way, who is coming on and querying about the magazine because the magazine just came out on Friday. So all the coaches want to show it to all the people that they're coaching around the world. So Dan, did you or did you not get that? Because if you didn't, I'll make sure that you do get it. And then also, you should have gotten, I believe you got 3 more inquiries today. Yes, yes, I sent it to you, so yes, you have it. And did you get, weren't there more inquiries today that went to you? Just give me a yes or a no, that saves me from having to call you. But anyway, everybody, that's one of the coaches that's volunteering his time to help people because he had a life-changing experience. We can't even talk about it on social media, but trust me, it's amazing. Dan Mays, I'm asking for all other listeners. Yeah, go ahead. He's making a comment here, everybody, so I'm anxious to see what he's going to say. Who cannot get the magazine? Okay. Who cannot get the magazine? Yes, go ahead. I feel we're going to be doing something here, everybody. I'm assuming he's typing. Hello, JJ. Thanks for joining. Oh, I guess. How do your listeners get the articles? Well, I'm having them buy the magazine. I don't know any other way to do it. I haven't had time to, I don't have time to send out the magazine to everybody anyway, so it's a matter really of doing that. I guess you coaches could distribute the magazines to your people. It's the only way I know to do it because there's no way I could handle it. There's too many. So all of you though, if you're in the United States, certainly, I think in Canada, I'm not sure if it's in Europe or not, but Women's World is pretty much on every newsstand right now, in supermarkets, at Barnes and Noble, et cetera. You all can get it. So anyway, to make a long story short, I would say, Dan, that unless they can buy it, I don't really have a way to contact all of them, okay? And Dan, so did you get those inquiries today? Wow, we're at 5,200 likes. Thank you all very much. 5,200, that's wonderful. Who else would like to ask me a question? Look, I'm a very nice person. I'm not gonna, I'm respectful of everybody's opinions. The only thing I always say is, if you're gonna come on, you don't really need to call me names and do that kind of stuff, because then I'll just block you. But I'm willing to have an open discussion about anything that you want to discuss about why this is going to change the world and why every diet you're on is obsolete and why counting calories will never work again. So who else would like to ask me a question? Wow, I can't believe I've been on for 3 hours now. I've enjoyed every second of it. If someone signs up for a coach, the coach sends them the article and look. Yeah. Well, you have that version, don't you? I'm sure I sent it to you, correct? You have it. Confirm that with me, please. But I think you should let all the other coaches know that. But I sent all the coaches that same thing that I sent to you, which was the announcement of the article. So confirm, do you have it or not? So what he's saying is, if you sign up for coach, even if you can't get the magazine, they'll send you the they'll email you the contents of the article. I think that's what he's saying. So you do have it, yes. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because it's something you should take up with the other coaches. Okay? Oh, okay. So yeah, so I'd say talk to Colin, see if you guys can figure out how to let the other coaches know, because like I said, I'm a little preoccupied, as you can see, Dan. This podcast, I'm now at 3 hours and 3 minutes. We've had all kinds of people on here. We got 5,200 likes, and life is really good. So who else would like to ask me a question? How in the world did she lose 21 pounds and 38.75 inches in 30 days safely, and she's kept it off for 8 years? That's pretty big. That's a pretty big reach, would you all say? So Maybe all of you have dropped off, I'm not sure, but I'd sure be happy and willing to answer any questions about how in the world they did that. What we've been discussing is, oh, great, thank you so much. We'll definitely fill for them, and just wanted to say to everyone, thank you so much. Diets are like pharmaceutical medications, short-term help. This sounds natural, long-term. Thank you is free. Wow, fantastic. Thank you very much, S101. It's just really gratifying when people really get this and they get the fact that we're not here to convince you or sell you. We're here to educate you. We're here to show you what we were taught, because we all were coached. You think we just did this on our own? Like, oh, here's the stuff, here's a recipe. No, it doesn't work like that. So have a great day, S101, or night, or I'm not even sure what part of the world you're in, because like I said, this podcast now is going all over the world. It's really, it's getting legs. It's doing wonderful. So who else would like to ask me a question? It's now 3 hours and 4 minutes. I got to save my voice because I'll probably do another one around 2 Eastern time, 11 Central, 10 Mountain, and 9 Pacific. And I don't know what time, I think in Hawaii, I think that's 6 o'clock in the morning or something. In England and all the areas around the world that are listening to this podcast right now. So would anybody like to ask me one last question before I sign off to save my voice? No? Yes? So, okay, everybody. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to end this now, and like I said, I'll come back on again around 2 p.m. today. All right? Thank you, 730. I hope that made sense to you. And 730, again, one last time. I want you to understand you can get to that website for free. We won't contact you, and you can get a coach for free. Can you give me a yes that you understand that? But we're not going to, if you go to the New Health Conversation, we're not going to contact you. So I want you to feel comfortable that we're not doing that. Does that make sense? Okay, wonderful. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon. We're getting up, going to sleep, whatever, because like I said, this goes all over the world. Thank you all very, very much. Bye for now.